Hello and welcome to Kelly's Wordy Reactions. So I want to thank you so much for coming by to check out the video. I'm hopping right into it. Um, and let's go ahead and talk about this case. All right, so as per the title, this is the case of a man named Richard Allen. He has already been convicted at this point. And so here recently, his jail calls were uncovered, revealed, came out. Somebody got a FOIA, right? And got his jail calls. Also, his interrogations. So all of that has come out now that he has been convicted. I don't know if they didn't release it in his particular area with the FOIA until the case was decided, but we have it now. And so I want to start looking into this case. So I'm going to read you all a little bit about it, and then we'll hop right into some of those videos and things of that nature. We're going to just get into what they have within this article for right now, and then we'll keep going further. Okay, so at the top, it's got like YouTube unfriendly wording up there. So I scroll down a little bit, but basically it's talking about the unaliving of um, two girls, which is what he's been convicted of at this point. So it says, and 3 hours plus of videos released, including Richard Allen's uh, really jail. Well, I don't know. They might be prison at this point. I think they're just jail confessions. Jail confession phone calls, interrogations in Delphi. Unaliving. Okay. So Allen was sentenced last December to 130 years in prison for the unaliving of Abby Williams and Libby German, who were found um, not living near the Monon High Bridge Trail in 2017. All right, so we'll play that.
Fireball Whiskey present your guy shot.
Did somebody say from playing these ads? Ooh, that's not what I want. Okay, so newly obtained videos show the police interrogation of Richard Allen before his arrest for the unaliving of two girls in Delphi 8 years ago. Allen was sentenced in December of 2024 to 130 years in prison for that event of Abby Williams and Libby German, who were found, they say this a lot, my goodness, who were found near the Monon High Bridge Trail in February 2017. Try to hurry up and scroll past these ads. Okay, but Allen wasn't taken into custody until 5.5 years later, on October 26, 2022. One of the videos shared with 13 News by Tom Webster shows Allen being questioned by Carroll County Sheriff Tony Liggett and Steve Mullen, an investigator for the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office. Okay, on October 13th, 2022, the other video is of an interrogation by Indiana State Police investigator Jerry Holman the day Allen was arrested. So they interrogated him a couple times, it looks to me. I looked at some of those this morning before they actually arrested him. Okay, each of the videos is about an hour and a half long. In the first video, Allen talks with investigators about being on the Monon High Bridge the day the girls disappeared. They showed Allen a photo of a man on the bridge wearing clothing similar to what Allen said he was wearing that day. but Alan denied having anything to do with the girls' unaliving. Basically, this either you were out there to do this to the girls, or you were out there to be able to introduce the girls to somebody else, Mullen said in the video. And then in quotes, okay, good luck finding anything that points in that direction. I mean, it's not me. You're not going to make me believe it's me. You're not going to find anything that ties me to those unalivings, Alan replied. So I'm not really that concerned. You know, you went from trying to, I don't know what you want to say, get my trust, and then slowly lure me into telling you that I did that to somebody, and I'm not going to do it. So that's what Richard Allen is saying in some of these interrogation videos. Let me go back over here because I'm on the main page. Okay. All right. Thank you for stopping in. All right. So he says the focus of the October 26th interrogation included witness testimony and evidence, including an unspent bullet found at the scene that investigators linked to a GUN belonging to Allen. There is no way that evidence is going to show that I did this, Allen said. It's right effing here. Y'all, when they were being so patient with this man, I was like, this is interesting because they were being so patient, nice, kind. I guess they have to go according to how the person is communicating with them, but at the same time, they were being really patient and like kind as far as I was concerned. And then um, at some point, one of those detectives just blew up on him. But it says, it's right effing here, Rick, Holman said. You got one piece of evidence that I can't explain, Allen said. I got multiple pieces. Multiple. I'm not showing you my whole effing hand here, Holman said. Yeah, it was, y'all will see. It's a trip. I don't care. I'm telling you, I'm done talking, Allen said. And then a little more than an hour into the video of the October 26th interrogation, Allen's wife, Kathy, enters the room. After an embrace, Allen tries to reassure his wife as her voice cracks with emotion. I know, you know, I didn't do this, Allen repeated to his wife. Later, I was saying, when he was, it was almost like he was trying to get her to that point of starting to say, I know you couldn't have done anything like this. I know, I don't know where did they? She never said any of that. She was like, but how did they get this? But they have this. How would they have gotten this? You know, she wasn't like buying into the I know you didn't do this game. Later that day, Allen was taken into custody at the Indiana State Police Post in West Lafayette. A third video shared by Webster includes phone conversations Allen had with his wife and his mother, Janice. The 8 phone calls in the video take place between November 14th, 2022 and June 11, 2023, with most of them made in April, May, and June 2023. He says, I unalived Abby and Libby, Allen told Kathy in a phone call on April 3rd, 2023. On May 10th, 2023, Allen told Kathy, I need you to know I did this, and I hope you still love me. In a follow-up phone call on May 10th, 2023, Allen told Kathy, I unalived Abby and Libby, dear. On June 11, 2023, Allen told Kathy, I did it. Do you still love me? Wow. And here's Abby and Libby. Yeah. Rest in peace, Abby and Libby. My heart really goes out to their families. Um, there's the story about them. I was wondering, like, why were they out on such a secluded trail? I really don't have that information, but I do know that it's like their parents dropped them off, and I guess they felt like, oh, they want to go hiking, walking. Okay, that's cool. It's two of them, just drop them off. Um, so I don't know how he got them in such a compromising position. Um, they did, however, one of the girls was able to take that picture of him. So that picture of him came directly from one of the girls' phone. And then they also got a bit of, I guess she had it on video. So they got a bit of his voice saying, go down that hill. So I'm thinking, though he did not actually pow them, I'm thinking what happened was that he had the pow so he could show it so that he could get them to do whatever he wanted them to do. On one of Oprah Winfrey's shows, and this is just something good to know. I thought it was good to know when I heard it like years ago on Oprah Winfrey. So we can share this, and I have shared this with my children and need to start sharing it with my grandchildren. But Oprah had a basically someone who was out of jail for doing, certain things to people. And he was on her show, and he would go around and talk and tell people how to what the mindset of a criminal is that's doing something like that, and how you get out of it, hopefully, if possible. And what he was saying was never go to the second location. He was saying if someone tries to do something to you, have it out right there. Like, fight as hard as you can, yell as hard as you can, make as big a scene as you can. And it was another person that I heard on some other show, I don't remember, a long time ago, when it used to be talk shows, helpful talk shows. It used to tell people good, helpful information. Um, Someone else said that you never yell help, you yell fire. Because for whatever reason, our psychology is set up to, I guess, maybe protect ourselves. So when somebody else is yelling help, help, then we start getting scared. But when someone yells fire, then we are set up to, to like get more curious about the situation. Fire, what's on fire, and it's sad, but it's probably more so a selfish protection thing that we have to try to figure out what's on fire, who's on fire, what's going on, for you to find out more about why is this person yelling fire, other than yelling help. That kind of makes you feel scared and like you don't know whether to go, to help or not. So yeah, if you had not ever heard that before, share that. Like, fight as hard as you can, run as hard as you can, make as big a scene as you can, right there. Because this man told those girls to go down this hill and to some place that was more secluded, and that's how he was able to get them off, and to where, it was even more secluded. They were 13 and 14. I know, I don't know. It's just what we can do for the next time, for, anybody that and you can just share that information. Yell fire, fight as hard as you can at the first location, because um, that person that has that mindset that they're going to do something, they want it as secluded as possible, and they want as little trouble as possible out of you. In whatever openness you do have, that's your best chance, basically, is what he was saying. So anyway, let's get back to the reading. All right. During Allen's trial, the prosecution played multiple confessions he allegedly made while in state prisons. Allen's lawyer argued their client did not make the confessions voluntarily. In March, Allen's attorney filed an appeal of his conviction and his sentence. 13 News spoke with Brad Banks, a former prosecutor who now works as a defense attorney, about the newly obtained videos. And in quotes, as I followed the case, I've always thought that was going to be the most damning piece of evidence for him, Banks said on Allen's confessions in the phone calls. Okay. In the phone calls. At any time there is any type of confession, that's very difficult for the defense at that point. And then Banks said without Allen's phone call confessions, it likely would have been a tough case for the prosecution. There's a lot of science out there about false confessions and the psychology behind them, but it's just a piece of evidence that is extremely difficult for a jury to look past. It just is. And that was in quotes. Banks said, if I had to guess, that's the piece of evidence that the jury hung their hat on when they found Mr. Allen guilty. So, okay. So let's go back up here and grab this first video. Let me go back to StreamYard. Hi, Texas Toy. Hi, thank you for coming over. Okay, so we'll get this first video underway. Oop. I think I muted it before I started to play it. There we go.
30 years behind bars. Last month, Allen's attorneys appealed his conviction and his sentence. They have maintained throughout this entire case he did not kill Abby and Libby. So the next step is a complete transcript for this case will be put together, and then the long appeals process will really get started after that. Banks, who you heard from there, guesses it'll be about a year before we have a ruling from the Court of Appeals.
Samantha Johnson reporting live in the newsroom. Thank you. In the meantime, you can watch more than 3 hours of newly released phone calls and police interrogation video with Richard Allen.
We have put all that for you right now on WTHR Plus. You can get that by downloading the WTHR Plus app on your TV, and you can watch all of this content free of charge.
Friendly reminder that if you want to catch us talking about the Grizzlies in
Okay, so this is the picture. This is the picture that came from one of the girls' phones. So apparently, one of them turned around and took a photo because, probably they felt threatened. Okay, this is Richard Allen interrogation video part 1, and I'm going to play this from here. Oh, this ad.
friendly reminder that if you want to catch us talking to you about the Grizzlies in a different way,
check out our newsletter.
Subscribe for free.
Your favorite podcast, that's us, now has a newsletter.
Every single day we send out a newsletter.
One stop for Ultimate Team and League coverage.
You're going to have lots of content
I don't
in
have
your
to
inbox.
look at ads.
Okay, great. See you later, Richard. I don't know if I gave you one of my cards. There it is. I think you did. I probably set it down.
Oh, you can't hear it?
So, the reason we wanted to talk to you is about the, like I said, the Abby Libby case. Okay. And,
What about now? Can you hear it?
And as a formality, before we talk to anybody about these things, I want to make sure you understand you're not under arrest or anything like that, okay? And the door here is open. You can leave at any time you want. I'd be glad to give you a ride back or whatever. So, but we need to make sure that we go cover a formality here, and I'm going to get to the page sure where it's at. This is a Miranda warning. So before we ask any questions, you need to understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask any questions and have it with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any question if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you still have the right to stop answering any time. You also have the right to stop answering any time you talk to a lawyer. Like I said, you're not under arrest, so I just want to make sure you understand those rights. Down here at the bottom it says, I read this statement of our rights and understand our rights. I do not want a lawyer at this time, and I understand what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me. If you'd be willing to talk with us, or just if you understand your rights, we just need your signature that we cover that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is a formality we take care of whenever we talk to anyone.
We're just going back to the beginning of the case, and we know you had talked to Lieutenant Doolin. We just want to figure out what you saw when you were out there before.
Great, wonderful. Okay. Now, Tony brought up something that you had done when initially you had talked to Lieutenant Doolin, and according to Lieutenant Doolin, the information he got to you from you was that you were on the trail between 1:30 and 3:30. Does it make any sense? Okay. And that you had parked at the old Farm Bureau building. I think that may have been the old welfare office out there.
Well,
and while at the Freedom Bridge, you saw 3 females and noted that one was taller and had black or brown long hair. This is basically what he had written down. Okay. And maybe even got some information about your phone or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. So,
Hi, thanks for coming in. Can you hear this audio that's on the screen?
Get some information from you, and we get started here.
Not me, of course, but the interrogation. Would you mind putting that in the chat if you can hear it?
13 of 22. What time do you have, Tony?
11:15.
Okay, 11, 40, 10, 45. And your full name is?
Richard.
H-A-R-D.
Matthew. Allen.
That's A-L-L-E-N.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how old are you now?
50 years old.
Okay. Your date of birth?
9972.
Okay, great. Could I ask you to write down the social number where the X is at right there?
I'm in the 50-year-old club this year.
Yes. I'm beyond that, actually. So.
Just turned. No.
Sorry. Hard to believe. And do you know your driver's license number off the top of your head?
No.
Don't worry about it. The home address, I didn't get it when I was out there. What is it? Okay. And the phone number you can be contacted at. Would you have for water? I got one right here, John.
Oh, okay, sure. I'll be right back.
And do you have any of their cell phone numbers that you can be contacted by?
I got my wife's number.
Okay, what is her phone number? Okay.
Never dial numbers anymore.
You don't? I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. And how long have you had that phone number that your 317 number?
I believe I got it when I worked at Indy, so it would have been prior to 2006.
Okay.
Because it's an Indy number.
Okay. So, let's see. And can I ask what kind of phone you have?
It's an Android, a Google.
Okay. Yeah. What's your email address? Do you have any other email addresses? I got a couple myself, so I asked.
Yeah, I've got.
And of course, it's going to be redacted when he's given his information. Sorry, I had the volume on my own stream. But yeah, I was just saying they're redacting that information, as he's given his phone number, address, email, all of that. So that's why that particular sound. And then I got the sound to finally come in. So thanks to Texas Toy if she came back, or if you're still in.
On social media, did you
Let me know about the audio.
Like Facebook, not at all? Do you have a Facebook account?
Oh, my wife does. I don't.
This sounds so familiar. Okay. And does she post often? Things like
Yeah.
on there all the time?
And she does.
Okay, all right. So what is your marital status?
Married.
Married, okay. And have you been married before?
No.
Okay. Number of children, we were talking about your kids, your daughter. What's her name again? Okay. And how old? Okay. And what's her last name now? And any grandkids?
No.
Oh, okay. And what's her husband's name? Is he from around here?
He's originally from the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
But lived in Canada, and he's been here, well, shortly before they got married, so around 16, maybe 15, 16,
Okay.
I don't know. They got married in 17.
What's his name?
Again, they're just
Okay.
redacting that
He lived here for
information.
lots. Remember, Sons of Panthers being around here.
No, not around here.
Not around here?
No.
Maybe somebody else?
She was already up in Napanee when she met him.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, graduated from high school, where at?
North Miami.
What year?
91.
Okay. And any other vocational training, college classes?
Went to Ivy Tech like a couple semesters.
What did you study there?
Accounting.
Okay. Any other vocational training or? Okay.
Well, I was in the military, but
Oh, okay. That's a question coming up here. Were you involved in any fraternal organizations, clubs, or athletics, or anything like that in school?
I did some track here and there. I did football for like a year, but nothing serious.
Okay. Any clubs or National Honor Society or something like that?
Oh, no.
Sorry. Military service, so what branch?
National Guard, Army National National Guard.
And what was highest rank achieved?
E5.
If you're just coming in, this is the interrogation of Richard Allen. He's just recently convicted and sentenced to 130 years in prison for the unaliving of two young girls, Abby and Libby.
Yeah,
And
you always get that. Yeah, Mexico, well, in Denver. Yeah.
Okay, all
It was
right.
Mexico.
Yeah, okay.
But it was Peru was where I was in the National Guard at, sorry.
All right. Go to church anywhere?
No,
Have you ever?
on occasion, nothing.
Okay. Where'd you usually go to? Any place around
I
here?
don't even know. No, not around here.
Abigail Williams and Liberty German.
Okay. Parents go to
They
church,
were
or
13
did
and
you-
14 years old.
No, my grandparents went to church. My parents didn't.
Let's see where they are.
Any criminal history? Have you been arrested for anything? Any medical problems, heart trouble, high blood pressure, psychological disorders?
The event happened in 2017, and it was not until 2022 until they finally arrested him.
How long,
So.
how long ago was your heart attack?
We'll carry on.
It's 2010.
Okay.
You were 40. 37. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. And anything else?
Depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, cholesterol.
All right. And you're working at CVS.
Yeah.
So you said you've been there how many years?
Since, well, not the one here, but with CBS since 2013.
Okay. So you worked at another CVS somewhere?
Yeah, I worked in training in Marion, I worked in Peru, and then I came to Delphi. I'm thinking 16, 17, 16. I've been there a while now.
But you said you lived at your house out there since 2000. So you would drive back and forth to another CVS?
Yeah, I was leaving Walmart. Like I said, I spent 10 years with Walmart. I was actually a store manager at one point with Walmart. Chose to leave the company and do something different, and interviewed with CVS, and Peru was the district manager that I interviewed with. Peru was the furthest western store that he had, or closest to me. So that's where I was going to be working, and it just didn't work out the way that I thought it was long term. I mean, I was there several.
I'm just going to break in right there and just say, this man used to be a manager at Walmart. I'm just going to break in right. And also, he worked at CVS and Walmart. So, yeah.
Years, but I wanted to, they had a training position, a managerial training position. I told them I didn't want to do that anymore. Long story short, and put in the transfer back, and like I said, I'm 16, I'm going to say around 16, 17, somewhere.
All right. Well, managing is kind of hard sometimes, I understand. Is there a particular reason why you didn't stay in management, or?
Tired of it, the bureaucracy, just not really being about taking care of the customer. It's more about hitting this number on this spreadsheet and that number on that spreadsheet, and then you're getting a call every 15 minutes if you didn't hit this number on this spreadsheet. And none of them really help you take better care of the customer. I mean, you spend your time managing scorecards, and I just had enough of it.
Sure.
I was just tired of it.
Sure, okay. Let's see, so from where we're at right now, I think probably, can you help us understand what was going on Monday, February the 13th, what you were doing that day and every day the girls
Okay.
were on the trail.
Okay.
Yep.
I went over to my mom's in Peru, Mexico, earlier in the day. I think my mom had had hip surgery back then or something, but regardless, my wife was working, so I went over there and spent the day, not the day, I spent the morning with them. My sisters come over and they were going to go eat lunch and stuff, and I wasn't about that, so I went home. And I remember it was a fairly warm day, or warmer than normal, so I think I just put a jacket on and went back out to the trails. Usually we had when we go, we walk down to High Bridge and walk back and walk down the other side and come back. I mean, it wasn't a ritual, but I remember walking down to the bridge. The times, I left my mom's, it was probably around 11:15. So I think I would have been out there, because I didn't do anything else. It would have been around noon, I thought, is when I was out there. Walked down to High Bridge. Always went out just a little ways, not all the way. Went out a little ways and watched the fish. See if I seen any fish down there, because I like fishing, and walk back and sit on the, when you turn around and go down the other fork, there's a bench that overlooks, and sat there for a few minutes and walked down the, walked back out and left.
Okay. Anything else you remember? Where was you parked your car at?
Said there was, the big parking lot wasn't there at the time, right?
Oh, you mean which one?
Like where the bridge is at, there's a, I don't think it was there. So there's a, if you went over behind, there's a back road that went up, and there was a bridge, not the main bridge. There was a smaller bridge where you could park there, or you could park over on the other side. And I remember I didn't park over there where the, it's a farmer's entrance or something. I remember I didn't park there because I had told him something about, there were a couple vehicles there when I left, so I parked somewhere, either parked over on the bridge side, or there used to be a little building there. I could have parked there. There was a trail. Until they got the whole thing done.
Okay.
When you're talking about the bridge, just so I'm clear, you're talking about that big blue bridge, the Freedom Bridge or whatever that goes over the highway?
Well, that's the big blue bridge, but before that was there was a...
How do you have this much confusion about where you
If
park?
you're going out of town, you would take the road that I think is where the park is. It veers off, it winds off this way, and there's a road, the first road you come, well, I don't know if it's the first road, but there's a road that takes off to the right, and there's houses, and then it just kind of turns into a lane, and there was a small bridge up there.
And they're just taking it all in.
I mean, I think it's still there if you were...
Like the one, okay, so are you talking about the one-lane bridge kind of that goes
It would
over
have
the
been
street?
it wasn't used. It wasn't a bridge that was used, I guess is what I'm saying. It was just, there was a parking area up there that you could park in.
Okay.
And that's where people used, that's where quite a few people would park before they, I mean, now there's a nice parking space, but before it was either you parked there or you parked over in the farmer's thing. And I mean, at one point they had it marked that they didn't want you parking there, so it, and I know it wasn't over there.
Clarification, all they did was ask him, where did you park that day?
The bridge
Got
side
out
of things,
to
I guess
go
is what I'm
walk.
saying.
And this is about a 3-minute explanation of where he might have
So
parked.
this is kind of an overview of the area. So obviously this is the Blue Bridge here over the Hoosier Heartland Highway.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, can you mark on where you think you parked at? Good.
Show me the blue bridge again.
Blue Bridge, here's the Hoosier Heartland Highway, here's Main Street. The road that comes out from downtown goes out into Heartland. And here's the Anderson think that's going to be their fertilizer plant, and down there's their
So that's the Blue Bridge. I mean, it's right there. It would have been over in here somewhere probably.
Well, that's one of the parking areas. Okay, and then I used
Or it would have been, there was a old building somewhere over.
This map was taken back when the building was still there, and this is the building that was on the bridge, the trail side of the bridge.
Okay.
So down up
You
here.
went this way. I think you went down this way and you, like
There's
went in an underpass or something.
Yep, that's right. And then there's a building right there that you can see it.
Okay. So it would either have been there or there.
Okay. All right. Very good. Which way do you think you would have traveled to get to this building that particular day? If you remember.
Just that way that loops around.
Okay.
I don't know the names of the roads or anything. I mean, I can show you where I drove, but it just, on the way, the road that goes out, it's basically the same way that you get to this one, except, no, it's further up. And you go down and it like comes down and goes around somewhere and comes over on the other side.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Was it ever an occasion where you might have gone to the park another way? Did you go out here very often, I should ask?
Not, like, I wouldn't say often. I mean, we go out, we may go once a month, we may go twice in 1 week. I mean, it was just kind of one of those where when we felt like walking the trail, we'd go. I mean, I could say we visited it regularly. During the summer months, we didn't really go out there much in the winter. We may have gone out a time or two, but.
Right, okay. So was it ever something, was there ever a time that you guys took another path to get out there besides going around this way, or do you remember anything like that?
I think there's a way if you go past where you park the farmer's entrance that I was telling you
I
about.
think it's down here. There's an entrance across from a residence that's a farmhouse. Does that make any sense?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know that there's a way that winds around, and you can eventually get back to 200 or whatever road it is. We're off of 200 North, I think it is. It comes out somewhere down there, but we only did that. I think we found that by accident one time. We thought we'd go that way and try to get back, and it was we eventually came out that way somewhere.
Okay.
But no, I wouldn't. If we were going to go there, we would go down through town and.
Okay, good enough. All right. So let's talk more about what you remember doing that day, remember seeing that day.
Okay.
You gave an account to the officer who talked to you. And do you remember how that was prompted, how that happened, that you happened to talk to the officer?
I don't remember if it was the next day or a couple days, but shortly after they were asking for anybody that was there to come in. So I went down. I got home from work and my wife said, they want to talk, because I had obviously told her that I was there. And she said they want to talk to anybody that was down there, may have any information. I don't know how much, but I obviously will go down. So we went down to the sheriff's station, and I don't remember who it was, came out and talked to me and said that he would get my name and information. And then I was driving downtown for something, and I know that I remember he called me when I was in the car because I pulled over and talked to him. It was a DNR officer, and he asked me if I could come down and talk there, or if I want to meet somewhere. And I don't remember how or why. I think they were really busy, obviously crowded probably. So I was heading down to, it was the Save-A-Lot parking lot down there, and I told him I would just meet him there if that was okay. So he came.
So when this all happened initially, he had let his wife know that he had been to that particular trail. And then when everything came out on the news, I guess the wife was like, hey, you were at the trail that day. they're asking for people to come and come and talk to them to tell them if they saw anything, because, they got these two girls they found down there and you were there. So you should go talk to them. So initially, back when this happened in 2017, he went and talked to the people way back then. So I guess eventually they're going to work around to talking about how they brought him back in as a suspect 5 years later. But, this is the piece that he's sharing right now about how he initially went in because his wife told him what happened and she knew he had been there that day. And it was kind of more of like maybe you saw somebody or maybe you can help them figure out what happened. And so that's how he ended up going in to talk to them, initially.
Came down, we talked. He looked at my phone, took my phone information, and I think he got some, we took the battery out and everything, and he got information off of us, so that's pretty much it. And, I gave him the account. Forgive me, it's been years, and I thought about it a lot. As time goes on, it's, like I said, I think I was there probably around noon. It could have been a little before noon or a little after noon. Walked down, back an hour, so probably 1:30, 1:45, depending on exactly what time it was that I got there that day. I just remember walking down the trail, and I had told him that when I was approaching the trailhead, I guess is what I'd call it, there was 3 girls walking off the trail, and I just remember it looking like one of them was probably watching, not babysitting, but watching the other two because they looked a little younger, and they looked very similar. I don't know if they were sisters or whatever, but the other one didn't necessarily. But I remember seeing them walking off the trailhead, and I didn't really see anybody. I walked down, like I said, I look at the water, I walked back, and I said, somebody could have walked behind me, I guess, but I sat on that bench that overlooks the creek bed and all that. And I remember telling him when I left, I remember there being, I think there was 2 vehicles down there on that farmer's entrance that I told you about. And that's why I know I didn't park there, because obviously I wouldn't recall seeing cars there if I parked there.
The farmer's entrance, are we still talking about this area here, or is there some other location here?
There's a pull-in, like right next to the trail is all I can tell you. There's a pull-in right next to the trail, and a trail actually leads up to the trail.
Yeah, it's hard to see from here, but I think this is what's called the old Mears.
Probably. There was a farmhouse across from it is all I knew.
Right.
And it was like I guess it looked like where you take farm equipment in and out or something, but I know at one point they flagged it that it said no parking, so we didn't park there for a period of time, but.
Did you ever park there before when you went?
Yeah.
A lot of times you did? Okay.
We used to when it wasn't marked. We did a cleanup down there one time I brought a bunch of Walmart people, kind of a community engagement thing, and we did a cleanup down there. It's the year that they tore down, we tore down that, if you go down, not the High Bridge way, but that one where I sit on the bench.
Yeah.
That I was telling you about. If you go down the hill, there used to be a little shed, a little shack down there, and they tore that, and we were there that day that we tore that down.
Okay. Yeah. Now, you guys did that with Walmart. Was that a local Walmart you worked at?
Lafayette.
Lafayette?
Yeah.
Okay. One on Commerce or the one on
Commerce.
Okay, all right. So, you guys came up and did that. Do you know when that was?
Oh, Lord, no. Well,
it was before or after this?
2006. Oh, it would have been,
Way before.
I wasn't even with, it was what, 17?
Yep. When the girls were out there.
13, 17. I wasn't even with Walmart at the time. I would have already been with CVS, yeah.
Okay, so sometime in the...
Yeah, it would have been way before.
Okay.
I went to CVS in, what did I say, 13, so it would have had to been before 13.
Okay. So you were out there then working on the trails?
I'm going to say a lot earlier than that because I worked in Chicago, south of Chicago, for a couple of my last years with Walmart when I was actually running that store. So probably around 9, 10 maybe.
Okay. All right, somewhere around there. So you were working out there in trails. Had you been familiar with the trails before then? Was there a time that you had been out trails before that?
We had walked, after we moved to Delphi, I mean, we started experimenting. I mean, there were trails that we didn't know were there, but, you know, you'd hear about one and you'd go, and I'm sure by that point, well, obviously I know by that point I knew about them because that's how we had, I don't know how I got associated with the Dan something or other that runs the Erie, I think it was Dan, run like the Erie Canal thing, and McCain.
Yeah, okay.
I don't remember how I became acquainted with him, but I asked him, because at Walmart, you know, as a leader, they always want you to be involved in the community, and I mean, it's a good thing, but you can also give money to, like, so, because we brought so many people out for that event for a day, we had so many hours, and we were able to donate money because of that from Walmart to the Erie Canal Foundation or whatever. So we worked, I guess the question is, yeah, I had been on the trails before that day. And we also worked out at the Carrollton Bridge that day. There's a tow path or something. We did some stuff along there too.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. All right, well, that's good.
So, yeah, I sat there for a few minutes and left, and like I said, there were a couple vehicles. I may have told him the exact makes, I'm not sure. I just remember one was like a sedan, and I think maybe one was an SUV, I'm not sure.
Are taxes still on your to-do list? Get them done for you. We'll match you with the right tax expert for your needs.
Sorry about that. This is not playing through YouTube, so we're getting ads. Let me go ahead and play this through.
Our experts have an average of 12 years of experience. Connect with them in real time, and they can finish as soon as today. Ask any question, even on nights and weekends during tax season. Your expert is backed by a team of experts, and they'll only sign once it's 100% accurate. Get your taxes done for you from start to finish with TurboTax Full Service.
One big
When I started Bone Dry Roofing, my goal was to create peace of mind for every single customer. We're more than just a roofing company, and that's more than just your roof up there. That's our reputation.
I have to look back at what I said that interviewed with him.
And that was at the, you call it farmer's entrance, those cars were at the farmer's entrance?
Yes.
Okay. What about where you parked? Were there any other vehicles?
I know there were no vehicles where I parked because I don't remember telling him. I mean, if he asked, I didn't see anything there that day.
Okay.
A lot of people would park at that farmer's entrance because I'm thinking that was probably when they didn't really want you parking there, and that's probably why I didn't park there. But it's much closer to the trails, so a lot of people like to park there. You walk in and you're actually like halfway through the trail, so you can walk one way and the other and leave. But I know at one point, like I said, they didn't want you parking there, so we didn't.
So back then, if you told, he said his report said old Farm Bureau building. So would that be?
I never really knew what that building was. I just remember telling him there was a building there. And if that's where I told him I parked, that's probably We would either park, obviously the farmer's entrance was always the most convenient, but there was a bridge, a small bridge before the Blue Bridge. I probably, I don't even know if I got this right. This is Anderson's?
Yes.
So there was a little tiny, it used to be like a one-way bridge. It wasn't even a road anymore. Like, you could either go towards the Blue Bridge or
you drive under it too.
Yeah, I think you ride.
Now I follow.
It wasn't, that parking lot wasn't there on the other side, so you didn't, but yeah, you would, you went, like I said, you take this road that forks off coming out of Delphi somewhere, and then you take a right, and it's just a little road, and there's some people that live along it, but then at the end of the road, it goes up to this, like I said, there's like a parking area where people used to park.
I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
think you can't see it on here, but what you're describing
Probably.
is a road that leads up to this parking area that you're talking. It's out of the side of that side of it.
Sure, it's probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, how far out to the bridge did you go that day when you were out there? Do you remember?
How far what?
How far out onto the high bridge?
I have no idea how many feet it is. There's the way I always know is there's one of those platform things that stick off the side, and I usually, years past, like 9, 10, let's see, 6, 7, between 6 and 10 probably. I've actually been across the high bridge back when it was in a little bit better shape, but somewhere in there, 8, 9, 10, somewhere it started getting pretty rugged and stopped going across it. But for the most part, I didn't go past that one whatever the thing is that sticks out. I'd go out there and kind of look. Like I said, fisherman, I'd look and see if I see any fish or anything, and then I went back the other way.
Yeah, I think those were back in the day, if a train was coming and you were out there, that you could possibly at least get out of the train's way.
Exactly.
I don't think I would still want to be on it when a train came.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. So yeah, that day, I don't remember what year it was, but it was well before 16, 17. I don't know, just decay.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
So if you were parked there, and correct me if I say anything.
The bridge?
Over here, in that building, I'm sorry. So if you're parked there, how did you get on the trail? Where did you walk?
At one point, you either walked down the road, but then at one point they had a trail there. Not a trail, I wouldn't even call it a trail. They had a gravel path that led to the new thing that they were doing. I call it the trailhead. When they started doing all that, there was a trail that would, I think it ran along the road, if I remember right, and then it just cut over to where the trailhead was at. You couldn't really park. I just remember where that path was at. You'd think you could park there, but it was no parking. So you had to walk. You either parked over here and it was actually closer if you went over here and you could just walk to the bridge that way. And then if you went this way, it was a little bit further because you walked along the road to...
So you would normally walk along the road, or was there a path that went?
At one point, I think you walked along the road. Honestly, I don't even remember. Where's the trails here? That's why I said at some point, it was probably after they put that little pathway in that we even parked there. I don't think we ever even used that until they put that path there, and it was just because it was the only way to get to trailhead from that side. And like I said, at one point, they didn't want you parking down here at this farmer thing, so they put in a gravel path in, and you would park there. So you either parked over there or you parked there and walked down the gravel path. And the path cut over to like where the trailhead thing is. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't know that we ever parked at that little building, whatever it was, until they laid that gravel path to it. And I think we thought that was a new, I guess, designated parking area, and that's when we parked there once in a while. We'd still park over here once in a while. It just depended on which. And like I said, there was times when we parked there on and off whenever they didn't have it posted. They didn't want you parking there. And we probably did a time or two when they did have it posted, but we didn't make a habit of it.
So that car that was in your garage, would that have been what you drove out there that day?
Oh my God. Let me think here. It would have either been that one or our great Ford 500. we kind of switched vehicles back and forth. It's kind of because I've oftentimes worked further away from home, and when I was working in Peru, the car's, what did I say, it's a 16. So prior to that, I'd had a little red Ford Focus, and our trucks we did our truck at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So on truck day, I'd be driving over to Peru at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And one day I was driving, I was tired. I mean, there's often times you'd be tired, but this day I was just so tired, like to the point I almost and should have just pulled over. But I made it over there, and I turned off, didn't take the highway all the way up. I took the turn off that takes you into the back way to Peru, and made it all the way in town, and literally I fell asleep. And I woke up when my airbag went off. I veered off the road and hit a SUV parked on the side of the road. And literally that's when I woke up. Like, I didn't even know. It took me several seconds, if not a minute, to get my bearings and even figure out what had happened. I still didn't know, because when it hit the SUV, it threw it clear up over the sidewalk into somebody's front porch. Like, I literally didn't brake at all. I was asleep, so I hit it full speed. So anyway, I get out, and there's not even anything there. I'm like, what did I hit? And there was a person stopped on the other side of the road. Anyway, long story short, they called the police, blah, 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 and I had to get, that's when I bought that black car.
The black car being the 16?
The one in the garage.
Okay.
And so I got that car because I have to drive back and forth and want something that gets good gas mileage. So my point is, I was driving the black car, and then when I transferred and came back to Delphi, I didn't need the gas mileage anymore, and it was a nicer car, so I gave it to my wife. And from that time until just earlier this year, I drove the gray car and she drove the black car. Now, if I was going somewhere out of town, a lot of times I would use the black car, depending on how far we're going. The gray car was dependable, but it's just one of those where the longer, I guess, more recently, I started driving, if I was going to go to Lafayette or something for an appointment or whatever, I'd take the black car just because it's more dependable. And
Yeah, she works at her.
But anyway, and then from during that time period, I drove the gray Ford 500, and she would drive the black car, had her little cat license plate and all that on it. And then when I got her van, the gray car pretty much had it, and it was either, I had that in a truck as well. I had a truck for, 3-4 years. I bought it used, and we didn't drive it hardly ever, and it was one of those where get rid of them while they're still worth something, so we traded them both in, and I got the van that she drives now, and then I went back to driving the black car. So I really like her.
You said you were gone to Miami County to see your mom. Mexico. Would you have planned to drive the black car because that was a trip out of town?
I wouldn't have planned, no. During that time, it was still, the gray car was still, it's not like it was a junk car. We bought it brand new. It was a 2006. But I just say in the last, 3-4 years, it's not, the car didn't run well. It's just one of those where it's old enough that, you don't want to get over somewhere. Especially because usually if I am driving, it's because she's at work and I don't want to end up having to get stranded somewhere. But that was more recently, so that's why I don't know which, it was either the gray or the black one that day. It could have been, it could have been the black one, could have been the gray one.
Makes sense. Okay.
It was an 06 Ford 500.
So then, you get on the trails and you said you saw 3 girls. Where was it you saw the 3 girls?
They were up around the trail. I mean, I didn't like to interact with them. It was up around the trailhead somewhere.
So you helped her.
Like when I say they were leaving, yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming they were leaving, or they came from down where those cars parked and they were going to go back that way. I don't know.
Okay. And then, did you see anybody else when you were out there? Anybody that stand there?
Anybody that stood out, I guess. Okay. I mean, if I did see somebody, it didn't click with me. And of course, my memory was a lot better when I talked to him that day.
Does it seem like they sped it up? Let me look. Speed is normal. Okay. Just seemed like all of a sudden they started talking really fast. I did want to say something else right here. So right here, my God, how long can it take for you to explain where you parked and what car you drove? Woo! Okay, but I don't know. Um, anyway, what I wanted to say was he is talking about seeing the girls right now. Later, he is going to say he didn't see anybody. He never saw them. And that's going to be in the interrogation where it's a whole different day. They brought him back in to show him. What were they showing him? Can't remember. I looked at these early this morning, but they brought him back in to show him some more information. Really try to like get confession out of him. But and you know what else I was wondering? Why didn't he ever ask for an attorney? Periodically later on, he's going to say, you could just arrest me, you could just lock me up. But he never asked for an attorney. He even told his wife later when they brought her in as well, just go, you don't have to keep talking to them. Just tell them you want an attorney. I don't think they were even trying to arrest her, but she was upset that they were talking to her, telling her things, asking her questions and whatnot. So, but yeah, the main point that I wanted to make was he is talking about seeing these girls. He's describing, first of all, he's saying that there were 3 and there were only 2. But he talks about seeing 3 girls. One that was maybe seemed a little bit older. And there was like a young lady that saw him that wasn't even with the other 2 girls. So maybe that's why he went ahead and owned up to seeing 3 girls. I don't know. But he described it kind of like they were all together. But anyway, in later interrogation, he's going to end up saying they never saw, he didn't see anybody. They didn't see him. And he didn't see them. So I don't know if he forgot he said this. I don't know what I don't know what, but I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. So yeah, finally got past where he parked and what he drove. So let's go further. But yeah, it did sound like maybe they sped it up because I looked at the speed. I know sometimes on YouTube, the speed will just shoot up for some reason, but I'm still on normal speed, so maybe they sped it up. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I don't remember seeing, like I told him, there may have been somebody on the bridge or something when I was coming back through, but I didn't. The only ones that I really noticed seeing were the 3 girls. Okay. Because I was walking towards them, and I mean, they obviously stood out. And like I said, I remember it looked like an older girl with 2 younger girls. Okay. Just walking the trail. Okay. And I guess I just assumed that she was probably watching them or in charge of them or whatever. It was kind of what it felt like.
Okay. If you thought you saw somebody when you were coming back through from the bridge, where they were on the bridge?
I don't really remember seeing anybody that day, but I don't know. So if I did see somebody else, they didn't jump out to me or anything else. I don't, like I said, it could have been people down around the cars, but I don't remember. I just remember seeing a couple cars parked over there. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Dan and SUV or something like that.
Okay. And then when you got back to your car, was there any other cars when you got back to your car?
I don't think so. Well, no, because I would have thought through that now.
Okay.
We've just been minding.
Do you know where you went afterwards when you left there?
Well, that day. I always watched the stock market and
trade
stocks.
That was something else that they remember the officer recorded something about the stock market. So tell us about that.
I just had a individual trading account with Daytech originally, and I think it was TD Ameritrade. I trade stocks, try to get rich, lose money.
Did that work for you?
On and off it did actually, but no, it worked really terribly there for a while, and I don't even do it anymore. So
okay.
It's just too much of a risk.
So did you have a phone or a watch or something you were looking at the stock market on, or?
I think so. I had a program on my phone to watch stocks. I don't remember exactly when and how long I had it, but yeah, I had a program that I could, depending on the reception you had, of course. If you didn't have any reception, that wouldn't work. And
Was it fairly good out there that day?
And that's honestly, I think that's why I went home as quick as I did, because I wanted to get home and watch it on my computer.
He's a day trader, but he doesn't have it on his phone.
I remember what I remember doing that. That was like a hobby, I guess, for me. Was watching
I'm
the
sorry.
Stock market and
He's saying he trades and he watches the stock market. So then they're like, okay, do you have that on your phone? And he's like, oh, no. No, it's not really on my phone. I can't use it sometimes.
I mean, you said you put on a jacket. And
blue jeans, and I'm sure I put on a jacket because I think it was still fairly cool that day. I don't think it was super warm. I would have put on a jacket. I don't know.
Remember what kind of jacket you had back then? I mean,
I've had Carhartt jackets over the years.
colors your jacket?
The one was blue, the one was black. Probably back then it would have been a black one.
So in December 2024, he was convicted of the unaliving of two young girls, 13 and 14, at a hiking trail,
I could have worn that. I've had
and they gave him 130 years.
like what I threw on today.
So just here recently, someone has requested
a little bit of everything.
all of this,
Anything else you maybe?
all of his stuff through a FOIA. I'm sure through several FOIAs. I think it probably wasn't available until after, they got him all the way settled. And so now his interrogation videos are out. His phone calls are out. They said in his phone calls he confessed over 60 times, even though he's not confessing in these interrogations. In his phone calls, he confessed over 60 times to different people. Not even just in the phone calls, in the jail system as well, like his counselor, other inmates, just several different people he confessed.
I'll tell you what kind of tennis shoes I had because I usually make them last a very long time.
Let me show you.
I've got shoes that I've had for 10, 12 years probably. It would have been older tennis shoes, or I had military boots that I used to wear, but they just don't fit. They're not. I've been out of the military forever, so I had some combat boots in my closet that I used to wear occasionally. I don't know if I was still wearing them or not. I mean, I haven't worn them in years, but could have had a pair of work boots. I don't know. So probably older tennis shoes, but if it was wet out, sometimes I'd wear a boot, like a work boot, or but like I said, the combat boots, because they held water out pretty well.
Okay, great.
And I may have told him that day was wearing. I don't remember.
Do you know what kind of phone you had back then? You still have that phone, do you?
If I do, it's in a closet somewhere. I'm sure I recycled it by now.
Oh, really?
Because I've had this for... When did my other one die? They'll tell me. Go where I just went to look at. I don't know, it's been a few years now. Several years, not. It wasn't, I know that since that time, I know I've gotten this phone. I don't remember when. it's not been a super long time, but it wasn't, I've had it long enough that I don't remember when I got it.
Hmm? Do you have that picture of that car or no? I don't think I do. Picture of the car on the road. Apparently I don't. Likely. Either way. So, a couple of things I wanted to ask you after I checked my phone. It's just like ringing like crazy. What we would like to do is to be able to confirm some of the information that you've given us so far, to be able to examine your phone. As you're well aware, phones go everywhere with everybody, and they tell a story about a lot of what people do. And sometimes the information on a phone can confirm, or maybe not necessarily confirm information about what somebody is saying. We have the ability to be able to extract the data from a phone and be able to look at it and be able to tell where somebody was at.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Would that be something you would allow us to take care of, do today, and get it done?
How long are you going to have my phone?
Well, we ideally would like to have a phone that you had. When you got that phone, did you take the data from the old phone and move it to the new phone?
I have no idea. I mean, I know. I always try to save contacts.
Right. So if you had the phone, like, where'd you get the phone at? What service is it?
I go through Ting. It's an online service, and a lot of people don't know about it. It's really inexpensive, and I've had it for years now.
What's it called?
Huh?
What was it called?
Ting.
Ting, like T-I-N-G?
T-I-N-G.
Never heard of it.
It's online.
So you didn't really go to a store somewhere?
I used to, but I for years now we've been with Ting. You pay full price for your phone, and they have discounted ones, and so usually you'll pay a couple $100 for a phone, or you can pay $600-700, whichever. But as far as the service, I mean, I only pay around $40 a month for 2 phones, and that's pretty much everything.
Your service provider, is that Ting themselves, or is it another?
I think right now it's probably Verizon. It's one of those deals they use. Of course, all of them do that anymore. They use each other's towers.
Corporate towers, and
But I think it's like my phone. Some of it depends on what type of phone you have too. Mine is based off of. I'm pretty sure it's off of Verizon right now.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Do you remember what you had back then? 2017?
I know I didn't have this one yet. I don't even know if they were making those yet.
I mean, as far as service provider?
Well, I've had Ting. God, I've had Ting for several years now.
So I
probably would have had Ting.
Okay, they may have changed service providers on you. Ting may have used a different service provider.
I don't since I've had this phone, I've never had them come out and say, hey, we're changing your provider. It's just I guess kind of the home system that it works off of. Like I said, it's Verizon. I'm trying to think if it's ever been, you hear about AT&T anymore, but could have been that at one point.
Okay.
I never had it before we lived in Delphi, though, so I know, I'm pretty sure because I always got my phone. I work at Walmart, so I get my service plans through them because I got discounts through them. So I know it's been since I left Walmart, so.
Okay.
I mean, so I went through regular periods prior, but I've been with Ting forever.
Well, so then what I would like to do, if it's okay with you, would be to have an opportunity to look at the phone and examine some of the data on it. Really would like to get to the phone that you had back then. If you think it's in a closet somewhere in the house, yeah.
Actually, I don't have, I mean, when my wife comes home, she'll know, if we have it, she'll know exactly where it's at.
Okay, all right. So if it's okay with
I
you.
thought she recycled them, but she may not.
We could start with this phone, we'll be able to extract the data from that, if that's okay with you. And I have a form that I read to folks before we get started on doing something like that, and it goes basically like this: you have the right to require that a search warrant be obtained before you search your property, have the right to refuse consent to a warrantless search, have the right to talk to a lawyer before you give a consent to such a search. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you. I've read the statement of rights, I understand what rights are. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I consent to a warrantless search by the officers of the police department fully described property, and it'll be your cell phone and a motor carrier, and authorize these officers to seize any item of data which they consider as evidence. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me. And I would need to have the passcode. Is your phone open, or is it as a passcode, or is it a pattern, face, or what?
There's a finger thing, and then there's a code override.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Go ahead. Any questions? Yeah, we'll try to answer.
Just, I don't know, it's sounding more like you're like, I'm not going to be somebody's fall guy.
Here's our
I thought we were talking,
I want to help you.
I thought you were trying to find what I might have that'd be helpful, but
that's
absolutely what we're doing.
Everyone we talk to, we're trying to eliminate them from any suspicion of being involved in this case.
Sure.
So
I get that.
What we want to try to do is get as much information together to be able to show, okay, we've looked and didn't find anything. So you understand what I'm saying?
Sure, I get that. I just, like I said, honestly, it amazes me that we're even talking. I mean, it's been so long, and I haven't thought about this much, and it's just like, I don't want to be somebody's fall guy, and we're going to try to make pieces of a puzzle fit somewhere they don't fit so we can close this thing, I guess. And I'm not saying you guys, please don't think I'm questioning your integrity. That's not what I'm saying. I just, okay. I mean, I guess that's where I'm at. It doesn't seem like a simple conversation we're having. It seems more like you think I might have done it, so.
I understand what you're saying. I completely get what you're saying and how I would feel from your point of view, okay?
Yeah.
But from our situation, what we're trying to do is be able to show what all you were doing that day. Take a look at everything, make sure that we can show that what you're saying is true, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that we can be able to say to someone else, whoever's prosecuting this case, look, we looked at Mr. Allen, and he's not our guy. And we looked at him because we looked at his phone. And I was going to ask you something else, too, would be able to look at your car, and also, with your permission, we'd like to look at your house. And so
Okay.
all these things are very, very important to us to be able to...
I get that. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to... I mean, if you get to a point where you think that I need further investigating and you want to get a warrant, do it, that's fine, but I'm not going to have somebody going through my house and everything.
Sure. I just want to be honest with you.
I just don't, I guess I'm starting to feel more like your main lead or something here, and I'm not going to do that.
We just started, did you understand that because we are so far into this, that I'm sure you see the news, you see state police doing their thing. Well,
for a great while, yeah.
We at Carroll County Sheriff's Department, and he's an investigator with prosecutor's office.
Sure.
We decided to pick through the very beginning of this again.
And
we're at, I guess, we're talking to everybody that was out there that day and trying to crossing T's, dotting I's. It's nothing more than that.
And I get that part of it.
So there's no fall guy. That's not.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not trying to question anybody's integrity. I just, like, I guess like I said, at the point that you think I might have actually done this, then if you want to get a warrant, search my house, my car, my orifices or whatever, that's fine. I mean, I don't mind you looking at my phone or whatever, but, like, yeah. I don't think, I guess my point is I don't think
We're just asking.
Sure.
Right now, just asking.
I understand that.
So it is what it is, and we have to ask. So
yeah, I'm not going to have police out going through my house and stuff. That's just not.
That's fine. That's fine.
news leaks and somebody here, I just don't need that kind of...
Well, we're trying to keep this very discreet because we do understand what you're talking about. It came out in a Buick, which is not normal like a police car. So, you know, we're not interested in making your life difficult or anything like that. We're trying to get these things figured out.
Sure.
Get it taken care of. So,
sure.
With that, so you said you would let us look in the phone?
Sure.
Okay, great. And you help us get to the other phone, too?
I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, all right. So let me go back to that form, and we'll get this phone back to our team, which can do that. So I covered this with you. What kind of phone is it? Can you tell?
It's a Google something or other. It's a Google...
Pixel, okay. It's a black phone, okay. And what is the passcode?
2045.
45, okay. All right, great. So I read this to you, so if you have any questions, do you have any questions about your rights about being able to do this? Or we just need your signature there to verify that you understood everything?
You know what? Let me talk to my wife before I do anything.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't want to do this because I'm cool with it, but at the same time I don't want her to get pissed off because I don't know.
It's okay.
We watch TV shows and stuff, and I just, like, I don't want to be associated with this thing, obviously, more than anybody else does. And am I an angel of a person? No. I mean, I'm like anybody else, and I guess I don't, maybe I don't want you looking at every website I visited, and so I think I'll talk to my wife, and if she's cool with it, then we'll do it.
Can I, I'm going to get something, I want to show you something just really quick, I'll be right back.
One big surprise.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet. It's
Used to crush them to recycle.
Sure, you want another one?
No, I'm good.
One of these is older than the other. So, but no, we're trying to give you a hard time.
I understand.
Again, we're just trying to get these things taken care of.
And I get that.
For a long time, so
I get that. But, I guess that's, not that I ever question anybody's integrity, but
that's fine.
It's just, I know that it's at a point where, I mean, you want closure. You want closure for a family, and I'm not, again, I don't know you from Adam.
No, it's fine.
But you also can't say it's never happened where pieces have been, we find a piece that's close to fitting and make it fit, and I just don't.
I just want you to see why we came to you. This is from the beginning.
Okay.
It's basically tip 74.
Okay.
That's
I understand. I get you.
I don't want you to think that we're just randomly coming after you.
And you've been...
Oh, I don't think you're coming after me. It's not that.
You've been completely honest with this. You said, well, what the information you can see right there, Mr. Allen was on the trail between 13:30 and 15:30.
That's true. I mean, I don't think that...
Time there was.
I know I wasn't out there that late. I don't know what... I don't know what I told him that day, but I know I wasn't out there till 3:30 or so. Yeah, it's 3:30.
That would be right around 1:30 until 3:30.
No, I'm saying when I left. 1:30 would have been more of the time I would have left.
Okay.
Not gotten there. Because the only reason I remember is because I know I left around 11 o'clock or so because they were getting ready to go do lunch.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't going to do the lunch thing with everybody, so
And
I
you
just
told
went
us?
home and
Right.
was going to watch the stock market, thought it was a nice day, and I'd go take a walk on the trail before I did.
Yeah, so things we're asking you is nothing any different than we ask anybody else around there.
Yep. And look at all the stuff you told us, and there's nothing inconsistent here. So.
I guess I was actually watching my stock, so I must have been working. You asked about that. Vehicles parked behind bridge trailhead. It wasn't, I mean, it was that farmer's pull-off is where I was seeing
Different people call.
Sure, gotcha. And you have the information off my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes, that's why we really like to have that cell phone in particular.
But again, that's why we're here.
Sure, and I get that.
We're trying to put, if there's any pieces you missed or anything that you can recollect.
Sure, and that's honestly, that's what I thought this was. And I mean, there's nothing else I can really think of. But as far as searching my house and my phones and like...
Well, let me say, I haven't even got to that yet. I just want to let you know, those things have been very helpful for us, okay? I'm not necessarily asking right now.
They've been helpful.
Eliminating people.
What we do is we can say for sure, okay,
Sure.
and we didn't find anything, okay? That's how we estimate the successfulness.
And I guess I see that.
Yeah.
I guess when you say progress, it's like we're still where we were. And I'm not saying you haven't made progress.
No.
You obviously have. I'm just saying, like, we're here because we haven't found the guy that did this. And I'm not going to turn into that guy. I'm not going to, I don't want to become the target of something because, like I said, we watch a Dateline every week. We watch everything, and it's one of those, I mean, there's nothing that's going to tie me to it, and I'm not worried about that. To have people come and start searching my house and stuff. I mean, my wife doesn't even know I'm here talking to people, so, but I mean, I can look for the phone, I'll talk to her, and, I mean, obviously, anytime that you feel that you need that information quicker, I know you can get it. It's not like you can't get it if you want it. I'm not an idiot.
What information would that be?
Searching my house, searching my phone, searching my...
Well, and again, the reason I said search your house and your car would be to be able to say to someone, look, we did actually take care of this information. We know for sure, okay, what was there, what we found, and that gives us the answer we need for a particular situation that we're dealing with.
Sure.
Okay, it doesn't mean that we're trying to put anybody in a box,
Sure.
or anything like that. Or I know you brought up several times wanting to be able to resolve the case. No, what we want to do is be able to find the person who...
Absolutely.
That's
what I mean.
Not try to put anybody in that box that wasn't responsible for what happened. Okay?
I understand that.
So, I'm
not saying you just want to label somebody, but, you know, I had nothing to do with it. I haven't been a part of this investigation. I mean, I have with what I did, and now obviously you questioned me further, and that's fine, but it's a horrible thing, and I mean, I don't want to be any more involved in it than what I have to be. If I thought I had something that was useful, by all means, I'd give you anything I had. I just don't know what's going to be useful to you.
Sure, I understand. So that's one of the reasons why we asked for the phone, is to be able to nail down that aspect of it, especially the phone that would have been involved in that situation, which would be the phone you gave the information on to the officer.
Sure.
And also, something that would be very important to look at would be your car, because when somebody does something that's involved in something like this, Sure. There might be traces of biological information and data or substances that are left behind inside the vehicle. So
Sure, I
does
mean,
that make sense? So would it be helpful for us to be able to look at your car to be able to determine if there'd be anything like that inside of it, forensically, okay? Forensically means that we have a close examination of the car.
I know that.
And then again, like everything else that we're telling you, then we can say, we looked at Rick, we looked at his car, there was nothing in his car. That's the point. That's the whole point of everything.
Yeah, this is out of left field, guys. I'm going to talk to my wife before I do anything. I mean, this affects her as much as it affects me. And I know you guys don't talk to people. I don't hear a bunch of rumors out there, but I don't want anybody knowing that I talk to you guys.
Oh, I understand.
It's just not
And
something.
We don't do that.
Sure.
That's not something we want to do at all. So we don't just go out and randomly talk to people about stuff like this.
Sure, I understand.
Okay. So with the phone, you say you want to take some time, more time to think about it. A couple things that I wanted to ask you about. Would you mind, sir, if we stepped out for a little bit and
Sure.
came back? Are we okay with you? I think we need just a few minutes right back. Hey, how you doing? So, what I want to do is some of the stuff we have here. Why it's important. Why it's important. We get your cooperation. One of the things that you told us was that you had driven out there in your car, and you think you've driven out there in your car. We have a picture of your car that shows it was going out to the trails that day. Okay, and now one of the important things for us is to help understand exactly where you were at that day, what was going on. You've already told us that you were out there. That's really, really important.
Sure.
For you, okay?
Obviously.
So with that, what I wanted to do is try to help you work through this whole thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. We've been able to talk to your wife, sure, talk to your daughter already. Well, this is all happening. We had time to do all that. Sure. And we've heard that you had some issues, even had at one point put a gun in your mouth that you were going to do something to yourself, maybe 3 years or so. Yes. And, you know, look, there's a lot here that we need to get clarified, okay? As you well know, we have pictures of an individual who was on the bridge. And to some great degree, you described that individual as wearing, yourself as wearing blue jeans, a jacket of the same color as that. It described a hat. It's hard to see the shoes, but they're kind of brown. Okay? And this is a picture that was taken with the phone of one of the girls. Okay, I understand that. And the question needs to be, is that you? If it was taken with the girl's phone, that is absolutely, I mean, it's not me, but I never have met these girls before, so even if I thought it looked like me, if it was taken with the girl's phone, there's no way it could be. I've never met them. I've never seen them. All right, so that's where as far, well, and let's just stop there. As far as my psychological well-being, okay, it has been, I've been dealing with that for years. It's not something new. It's not something because I went out and killed girls. Now I've got psychological problems. Have I had issues? Did I stick a gun? I know how a gun works, and I wasn't going to shoot myself that night. It was probably a cry for help that night. You've obviously talked to my wife, so it is what it is. But I know that you haven't talked to anybody that knows me, has been around me, my family, not my family, that thinks that I may have been involved in this. I wouldn't believe it.
But this image, this person right here, he's wearing like a Carhartt jacket, just like you just told us.
Okay.
He's wearing the same clothing that you just told us. We just need to know what happened. Why?
Sure. I mean, I said I was wearing blue jeans. Now, I think blue jeans is a pretty common thing that people wear. Sure. And I said I was probably wearing a black or a blue coat. It could have been a Carhartt, a zip-up with a hoodie in it. I've had black ones. I've had a blue one, or a blue one and a black one. Like, I guess, you know, you're taking what I told you I was wearing and saying that that's me. And it, so the other kind of... And you're serious. You literally want me to... Like, that is you want me to say that that's my car? We looked at the... Well, no, wait, it matches everything. That is your car. Okay, well, I'm saying in that picture, it's like, okay, Yeah, no, there's zero doubt. Okay. That's you. Okay, that's We're just showing you what we have and why we need to eliminate it. That's the point. Sure. All right, well, we're all... Here's what you want to arrest me. Here's what I want to say to you at this point. You know, look, we have a lot of information here that we need clarification. Sure. And that's exactly why we're talking to you at this time. Well, and that's fine. So what we want to do is to be able to take a look at your cell phone, take a look at all the data, help us out. That would be great. Or, you know, conversely, in this situation, we've already talked to your employer, and we already know that and we haven't told them what we know about this. We haven't said anything about that. But they say you're a nice guy. And I believe you're a nice guy. Oh, okay. Look, you know, I have no reason. We paint a picture for you. We went to your house. No, you've got a job to do. And I get that. We went to your house. You sit down here. We went to your house this morning. We're having a conversation, and we went to your house this morning, and what we did was knock on the door. You let us inside. We had a nice conversation. And that's great. That's really positive. You even came here to the center and drove down. You rode in the car with us.
Yeah.
And we had a chance to sit down and talk. You're not a fellow who is, I think, a mean fellow. You know, you're not the kind of guy that would go out and do something malicious to somebody. So a lot of what we're trying to get figured out here today, right now, is exactly what's going on here. Why is this information showing us one thing, but then you're telling us another?
What is it showing you? What this information? I'm going to say that is, just say that is my car. I told you I could have been driving that car.
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know what it is but this seems to have taken a turn, you know. You're sitting here and you're talking to me and you ask me things and I get that.
Most people,
but now it's turning into...
Most people have wanted to be eliminated from this.
Well, sure.
That's
I don't want to be included to begin with. So until the point that you have something that tells you that I did this and you want to subpoena or arrest me or something, I've got nothing to worry about. So I'm not real concerned here, but your attitudes towards me have definitely changed, and I don't like the fact that...
I'm sorry, y'all. I had an important call and I couldn't break in here, but I thought he said he looked at a bunch of crime shows. How he didn't know, I guess because they were being so polite and, you know, reasonable with him, but how he didn't know that that this was a real interrogation. I don't know, but he's definitely, you know, he's starting to understand that they're not playing with him. But yeah, let's go ahead and let this play out. Let me look up. Okay, here we go.
You know, it feels more like I'm being interrogated, and so then you're going to tell me that you've already talked to my wife and my daughter and stuff. Like, how straightforward is that? You know.
Well, what would you? Okay, let's turn everything around. Tell me what you would do differently if you were in our situation. You had this information. How would you react? What would you do? You do the same thing that we were doing right now.
What information is it that you have?
We have.
You have that I was out there, and I told you from the very beginning that I was out there.
Yes, you did.
I didn't hide it.
Did you see this guy?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I told you. I see the only person that I clearly remember seeing that, and this isn't from the day. I mean, this is the next day. The only people or person that came into my mind were those three girls that I seen.
Richard, we're not upset with you, not mad at you, anything like that. We're just
Sure.
trying to get to the bottom of this, okay? No, I'm not, I'm not here to give you a hard time. I'm just here to try to get this situation straightened out. Mm-hmm. And what we want to do is simply get to the truth. What would help us get to the truth is being able to look inside of some of the things you're talking about, okay?
And I get that.
Okay.
And on the other side of things,
here.
Sure. And on the other side of things, if I thought I had something that was going to help you, that would, what do I have that's going to help you?
Okay. Well, I have some questions we can go through here, if you don't mind. And I
think we're done.
We have some other questions here that we could go through here. And what I could do...
Want to hear the questions? What does that hurt?
Some of the questions that we can ask you are simply this. And I don't want you to feel like these questions all sound strange, and it'd be very, maybe even accusing in nature, but I want you to understand I'm not trying to offend you. But they help us out. They help us out by getting to a little bit farther along in this matter.
So, I don't know. Like I said, you went, you talked to my daughter and my wife.
What do you want?
I can't tell you what happened. I can tell you that if that picture was, I mean, you can sit and take anybody and say, well, if they were wearing this and wearing that, that could be done. If that picture was taken from one of the girls' phones, it's not me because I've never met them.
No, but listen, here's the problem with that. You know why you can put a lot of people and say they're wearing blue jeans and a blue coat, but you know what the difference is?
No.
You said you were there.
Well, sure I did.
We have people that saw you.
Okay.
Ricky said you were out on the bridge yourself.
There aren't that many people that saw me. I mean, I'm sure I didn't miss that many people. If they walked behind me, I guess.
You said that you were out on the bridge, this bridge, yourself that day around the time when this happened.
No, I didn't.
You said you walked out onto the bridge. When we talked to you earlier, you said that you walked out to about the first platform or within that area down the bridge. That's what you told us. So we know that you were on the bridge.
Of course I was.
Okay?
And I told you that.
And with that, you know, we can say that, is this person you? That's the question. Is that person you? That's the question we have to answer.
Sure.
Okay? So if that person is you, we know this person followed the girls all the way to the other side of the bridge and then told them to go down the hill.
Follow the... I don't even know what you're talking about. Like you're saying go...
Okay. So the bridge here, okay, this is the girls walking towards the other side of the bridge from where the trailhead is at.
The other side.
The other side of the bridge. And this person followed them all the way to the other side of the bridge where the...
Yeah. So
let's just... And told them to go down the hill.
Okay, so let me stop here. I don't appreciate you trying to talk me into this. No, this is what I said. You're trying to change my words around. I told you I was on the bridge. Now you just told me this is the trailhead side of the bridge.
Over here on this
and
side.
You're saying I told you I walked on the bridge.
You said you walked on that bridge that day.
And that first trestle is somewhere,
back there?
That's him.
Okay.
It's somewhere over there.
Help me understand. Okay, you came out this far. We know that
I did.
One of the girls.
You came out that far. Is what you told me.
I'm not going to tell you how. I can't tell by that how far out I was.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. You're saying that's me, and you're saying this is the far side of the bridge. I don't even go out that far anymore. I haven't for years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, for years. But back then, that was in 2017. Okay. And the question is this you?
No.
Okay.
He's saying that's not him.
You're telling me that this person was out there on the bridge and wore the same clothing that you had on that day, but you didn't see them.
You can't tell that's a black Carhartt coat, a blue Carhartt coat, a pullover. I told you I could have been wearing this.
That's what he's saying. That's not him.
The kinds of clothing you said you wore that day was either a black Carhartt or a blue Carhartt coat. Okay, you said you had blue jeans, right? Okay.
And I've had jackets.
Okay, so put yourself in my chair.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not going to tell you I wasn't wearing a black Carhartt that day. I told you I could have been. I don't know if that's a black Carhartt. And if it is, it's not mine, it's his.
And you said you have a hat. You normally wear a skull cap which covers...
I said I carry one. So if I was wearing one, it would be like a skull cap or a smaller type of hat or something.
Okay. So this is the situation we're at, okay? Basically this. Either
he told them all of this stuff before he knew that they had a picture of him. So he told them he thought he was wearing jeans. He told them he probably had on one of those types of jackets. He told them he had on like some type of cap on his head. And I guess he didn't have any clue that somebody had taken a picture of him. You know, it came from one of the girls' phones. So obviously they felt him stalking them. Obviously they felt threatened, and they tried to do what they could think of to do, you know. Polo girls. And they, you know, they did a good job to help to catch him. Once again, this is 5 years later. That all happened in 2017, and he talked to them in 2017, and for whatever reason, they didn't consider him a real suspect until 2022. So, okay, I'm going to start back playing.
You were out there to do this to the girls, or you were out there to be able to introduce the girls to somebody else.
Okay. Good luck finding anything that points in that direction. I mean, it's not me. You're not going to make me believe it's me. you're not going to find anything that ties me to those murders. So I'm not really that concerned. You know, you went from trying to, I don't know what you want to say, get my trust and then slowly lure me into telling you I killed somebody, and I'm not going to do it. You know, I don't know where this changed course.
I'm not trying to give you a hard time, really not. I just want you to put yourself in the situation where we as police officers are looking at all the evidence that we have and what you've told us right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not trying to give you a hard time, just want to make sure that we get everything taken care of here. That's why we wanted to look at the things that we wanted to look at.
And that's not going to happen now. I mean, like I said, we're done here. So arrest me or take me home.
I understand. So
arrest me or take me home. I'm done.
This
is stupid.
Okay. So that day, that's your phone. So on that day, you went out there on the bridge, and that you were wearing the same clothing that basically the same clothing that this person here is wearing.
What do you think? I don't know how you can tell that that's a black Carhartt coat, which is what I told you, a black or blue Carhartt coat. Never mind. This is ridiculous. You're trying to tell me that I gave you a description of this guy and I didn't. I mean, we all looked at this thing for months and years, and to me that doesn't even look like a Carhartt coat.
Well, you can't say it's not, can you? I mean, neither one of us can.
Okay, you're right.
Can't say it's not. Right. I mean, we can't say that it's not a Carhartt coat. We can't say that that hat isn't similar to the one that you have had at one point. So,
okay.
With all those things in view,
you've lost my trust. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. This is stupid. Now you pissed me off.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Okay. So are you arresting me?
Well, I really want to try to get this thing worked out. Okay. I want to try to get this thing worked out.
Am I free to leave or not?
You've always been free to leave.
Thank you. You're an asshole.
Okay, so it looks like they brought him in about 2 weeks later, and this is what happened. I do apologize that there are ads. This is not playing through YouTube. Well, I guess it's on YouTube, but I'm playing it through the article, so we're getting a little bit of the ads.
Which means absolutely nothing to you. This is a property record and receipt. So this, it's going to read kind of funny, but you'll see. So we seal everything. So sealed paperback containing 1 pair of dirty Thorgood boots, size 7.5 mins. And then on down. So we basically...
He got a whole lot of nerve.
The clothing that you had mentioned that you possibly could have been wearing the day you're on the bridge. Okay. And then we also took some knives. Okay. We took your car. And then we also took a weapon, a SIG 40, right? Okay. Right there. I used to be a Beretta guy. I was in the Marine Corps. Yeah. Shot the Berettas. And then when I first got on the state police, we had Berettas as well. And then we went to Glocks for a little bit. Sure. And then we went to SIGs.
I was trying to think of what we even had. I think the Berettas were probably coming out just before I got out. Because they used to have the old 45s. No, they were
Springfield.
I have no idea, honestly. They were the one government issued 45s.
Yeah, we had I think there were 40 Berettas. And I think when I came on in 2001 in the state police, we had Berettas, but we went to Glocks, not a huge fan of Glocks, but SIGs. Mm-hmm. If I could build an indoor range and afford the ammo, I'd shoot that thing every day.
Yeah.
You shoot yours?
I've not had a lot of experience, no.
No?
I mean, target practice here and there. It's probably been I don't even remember. I haven't shot them in a long time, I know that.
Do they have like an indoor range in Delphi?
No, not that I know of. Honestly, I don't even know where. I haven't looked. There used to be one in Kokomo. That's the only thing I know.
Where you
That's
live
where
in, Yeah, and you live in town, so you can't go out your back door and shoot it.
No, I probably could. It probably wouldn't be a good idea, but
I live out in the country, so I know my closest neighbor's like 2 miles away, so I shoot mine out there. I got like a ditch. I don't have an indoor range, but I have like a ditch I can shoot and stuff like that. So,
These investigators,
like I said, these are the items that we took. These are the items that we're testing. Some tests take longer than others, as you know.
We're just chatting it up here, no big deal.
So the lab wants me to ask a few questions just about to help us with the testing, and you'll understand what.
Okay.
So, for example, they took a lot of swabs. They're taking swabs off of everything.
Okay.
So what they want to know is, have you ever loaned anything out that we've taken? And again, I just told you what we took. I realized that, but mostly some of the major items that, have you ever loaned them out for a significant time? Because if for example, my buddy's fuel pump went out in his truck. He said, hey, can I borrow your old truck? And I said, yeah. It says it's going to be 2 weeks, ended up being 5 or 6 months. That would be a significant time frame. That my buddy's DNA would be in that truck.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you've loaned out for besides your family members? We don't care about your wife's
Not
DNA.
that I can think of.
You never loaned a truck out, or your sorry, it's a Ford Focus. Is that what it is?
I mean, if I do, I certainly don't remember. Most of my family has vehicles, so extra vehicles.
Yeah.
So.
The same thing like my son. He sometimes will come over and leave his coat, and I'll wear it for a couple months or something like that. Or my son-in-law, he'll spend money on guns. He's a gun freak. He likes to buy guns, and then he'll be like, "Hey, can I borrow $500?" And then he'll give me one of his guns as collateral, and then when he gets the money back, anything like that you know of? Okay.
Yeah, you're right. They've been super agreeable with him.
That's one of the big things.
All this time.
And then, like I said, some of the tests are already back. I do want to talk to you about one of the tests that we got the results back. The other thing is, any of these knives or the gun, did you have that the day that you recall having that with you on the day of the
it's
13th when you were out there on the bridge?
Here,
you don't remember if you did or you didn't?
I didn't. I just went out for a short walk that day.
Okay. Well, we'll get to the meat and potatoes of this, Rick. I appreciate you being cooperative with me. I want to talk about the results of your handgun. Okay?
Okay.
So, handguns, as you know, probably, you may know more about them than I do. I don't know a lot, but they're very specific as far as the characteristics of the gun. So the firing pin is different from your firing pin. The extraction device is different from my extraction device. And they're basically, what the lab has told me, is that they're like fingerprints. They're specific to that gun and that gun only. Okay. So we took your gun, your 40 cal SIG, and we sent it down there to the lab to have it match with an item that we located on February the 14th when we found the girls.
Okay.
And that item was a 40 caliber Winchester round. We found that at the scene.
Okay.
The extraction marks on that round match your gun.
Perfect.
So
this is
okay. Just hear me out. I'm just trying to. So this is the round. Okay. Those are the extraction marks. That's the best picture of them. There's actually 3 of them. That's the same round that we found. Okay.
And that's probably why he's comfortable.
And like I said, the methodology that they use is scientific.
Do it that way.
And they're telling me, and this is the report. You can read it if you wish.
I don't need to read it.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to help you.
You made the mistake of leaving something there at the site. Not the whole
the prosecutor and the other investigators, they want to see you lock you up, throw away the key. I don't think you're
ridiculous.
Just listen to me for 2 minutes. Let me explain this to you. I'm on your side. I talked to you a little bit out there on the scene. I know you mentioned a couple times you don't want to be the fall guy for this. You also mentioned to me.
Oh no, hold on. It bounced all the way out. Let me see. We're on the was it that short? Going to the next one.
Christ.
Yeah, that's who you gonna need.
Which means absolutely nothing to you. This is a property. Okay. So we took your gun, your 40 cal SIG, and we sent it down there to the lab to have it matched with an item that we located on February the 14th when we found the girls.
I think we're somewhere about
And
right.
that item was a 40 caliber Winchester round. We found that at the scene.
Okay.
The extraction marks on that round match your gun.
It was a cut, sunshine,
No, just hear me out. I'm just trying. So this is the round. Okay. Those are the extraction marks. That's the best picture of them. There's actually 3 of them. That's the same round that we found. Okay. And like I said, the methodology that they use is scientific, and they're telling me, and this is the report. You can read it if you wish.
I don't need to read it.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to help you. You know, let me tell you something.
Okay.
You know, the prosecutor and the other investigators, they want to see you lock you up, throw away the key. I don't think you're
ridiculous.
Just listen to me for 2 minutes. Let me explain this to you. I'm on your side. I talked to you a little bit out there on the scene. I know you mentioned a couple times you don't want to be the fall guy for this. You also mentioned to me the other day when I was telling you, hey, I want to check the property out, make sure there's no damage, and you said, doesn't matter, it's over. You know, you made comments like that to me that really concerned me.
Sure.
Right. It's concerning.
And what I mean by it's over is that you've already started something here that there's no backing out of, so you've done, the damage is done, I guess is what I'm saying. That's what I would have been referring to.
Okay, and I agree with that. We have started this, we've been working on this for a long time, and all the evidence is clearly indicating you're involved in this. And listen to me, Rick, I don't believe you should be the fall guy. But all the evidence, you say you're out there, we have witnesses out there, we have your vehicle, we have experts. We have experts that say that's you on the video and that's your voice on the video.
Okay.
Experts, not me, I'm not an expert.
I gotcha.
Okay, and now we have your round at the scene.
Okay.
Not on the bridge, you said you're on the bridge.
I don't even know how my bullet would have gotten out there if that's my bullet.
It's without a doubt that this is very scientific. So let me show you a picture of this round, where it was found. That's the round right there. It hadn't been out there very long. That is Liberty's foot. It's within 6 inches of one of the dead girls' bodies.
There's no way.
There isn't.
I'm telling you, there's not.
How did that round get there, Rick?
I don't know how the round got there. What I'm telling you is, if that is truly what you're saying it is, it's not my round.
The scientific experts are saying, I got a report saying that round came from your gun.
Okay, but understand this.
You were on the bridge.
I told you I was on the bridge.
Listen, right now, like I said, I got a prosecutor and investigators ready to lock you up. And if you don't give us a narrative, if you don't tell us your side of the story, there's 2 sides to every story. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm trying to help you.
I get that.
The media is going to portray you as this monster, and you don't want your wife.
And it's already going to get there anyway, so.
Yeah. So this is your chance to tell us exactly what happened.
Unlike some people, most people, I care what people think about me, and
you do.
You've already set that ball rolling.
Yeah, but there's only one way to get out in front of it, and that's to tell the truth. What happened that day
I can't tell you what happened that day.
You can tell us. There's no doubt in my mind that the evidence clearly indicates that you're involved in this. Are you the mastermind behind this? I don't know.
Mastermind, okay.
Did somebody else set this up? I don't know, Rick. I want to know. And only you know. The truth will set you free. That's it.
Yeah.
The truth will protect you from the
Well,
media.
that's what I would have thought.
Well, tell the truth. Tell me how this round got next to one of our girls, in between both girls.
I don't know.
You do know. And if you don't tell me, you're going down for this.
Well, okay.
I'm serious. This isn't a joking matter.
I'm not joking.
You're this
Do you
close.
realize what you've done to me? This is like, you've talked to the people I work with, you've talked to my neighbors. You know, I've got anxiety, I got all kinds of stress and depression, and one of the big things is you could not even think something about me, but if I think you think something about me, it bothers me. And that's already done, because people out there already know that you think I did something.
I don't think that.
And I didn't. Okay.
Rick, I don't think that. The evidence clearly indicates you're involved.
Right.
So if you were in my seat and I had you saying you're out there, witnesses saying you're out there at the same time the girls, and now after a search warrant of your house, we find a gun, your gun. You own that gun, right?
I do.
When did you buy it?
Oh my gosh. I don't even remember. I mean,
2001. I'll check for you. I know a lot of the answers to the questions I'm going to ask you, but I'm just trying to give you the opportunity to be honest. That's why I asked the question. So you bought it in 2001.
I know a lot of the answers to the question.
And I asked you if you ever learned anything out. I gave you scenarios. No. So that's your gun. Either you had that gun or somebody had that gun. Because there's no way that round gets on that property where these two girls were killed without that gun being there. And you're there, your car's there, witnesses say
there is no way a round from my gun was anywhere near the girls, the bridge. It just didn't happen.
And listen, we're trying to help you. We're trying to help you prove
No,
it.
you're trying to accuse me of murdering two little. Calm me down, you ask me a few questions, you ask me what I'm wearing, and I tell you what I think I was probably wearing that day, and then you try to say that I'm saying that's me in that picture, and it's not.
I don't know why we keep bouncing out, because I know it hasn't been long enough. This is a 30-minute. He lost a lot of weight while he's been in lockdown.
Friendly reminder that if you want to catch us talking to you about the Grizzlies in a different way,
check out our newsletter.
Subscribe for free.
Ads. Okay, wait a minute.
Your favorite podcast, that's us, now has a newsletter.
Every single day
There's that photo. I was trying to see. It was a picture of him considerably smaller. He done literally worried his ass off, as he should. Let me see.
Which means absolutely.
I could never, even if I wanted to do something like that, that's not who I am.
Then what happened?
I can't tell you. How do you expect me to tell you? You want me to make up a story and...
No, the truth. The truth is simple. You don't have to make that up. You just go back and tell me the truth. You
I've
can't tell
told
me
you.
that this event has not been weighing on you for years and years and years. You're out there.
I've told you that. I don't know what you want me to do at this point. I did not murder two little...
I've been so nice
Oh,
to you.
let's see.
I've been so nice to you.
Oh, yeah, you're being nice. You're trying to get me to confess
related.
to something
They might
that
have
had nothing to do
cousins
with
or
it.
something. They weren't
Truth.
sisters.
I'm not trying to trick you. I've drawn out what we
I think
have.
they were just
It's
friends.
most of it.
You assume it's the truth, and it's not.
It has to be the truth. The scientists don't lie. The science doesn't lie.
That's awesome.
It's saying that round came from your gun.
I don't understand all that. All I'm telling you is there's a way that a round from my gun, the one that you took from my house, ended up next to a murder scene or anywhere else. I don't know where you got that bullet. If it came out of my gun.
Right there. That's the round.
Then it didn't come out of my gun.
That round was collected.
Then it didn't come out of my gun.
Rick, that round was collected on the 14th of February in 2017.
Okay.
It's been in evidence ever since.
Okay.
All right, and we've compared other weapons to that.
I understand what you're saying, but I can't explain it. I'm just telling you that if that was next to a murder site or anywhere near it, it didn't come out of my gun. And I don't know where you would have got one that did come out of my gun.
Right there. It was there. It was found.
Okay.
And I don't think you realize the severity of this. You realize the death penalty is on the table for this?
You know what? I don't really care about living at this point. I've dealt with not wanting to live for 7, 8 years now. It's been a long fucking battle. And with what you guys have done to me, kill me. I don't give a fuck. You'll make my wife rich. So
is that what she wants? Is that what your daughter wants?
They don't want any of this to even be happening.
Well, it is.
Exactly.
I can't turn this back.
Exactly.
You were there. You're there.
Yep.
The experts say that's you on the video.
Okay.
The experts are saying you said down the hill to the girls. The experts are saying all this. That all the evidence indicates you were out there. The witnesses saw you. The witness saw you. You said you didn't see anybody else on the bridge, but there was a girl that walked up, a lady, that walked up and saw you on the platform, right?
Okay.
You didn't see her, and then right after that, these two girls that end up dead, minutes later, walk by her, and she looks back and sees them passing you? You're the last person to have contact with Abby and Libby? Your weapon, your gun out of your weapon is...
I've never contacted Abby and Libby. I've never even met them.
That day? Why? Who said
I didn't.
That's all I want to know, is the truth. You're not willing to...
I've told you the truth. Do what you need to do.
Okay. Well, let me get the... I have the warrant here for your DNA, and then let me step out and see. And they'll come in and swab you with it.
That's fine.
Well, I'm trying to help you, but... All right, I think they got the warrant, so hang on 1 second.
He's still looking like no big deal. Oh well. But what I can't figure out, so they're about to collect his DNA. I can't figure out if he's so smart, and when they got started with this, he was talking about how he always looks at these crime shows. He knows what they're trying to do. He knows that they're just trying to get him to confess to something he didn't do. But he never asked for an attorney. Like, dude. And you know, I mean, at some point, I think, I mean, right about now, like, let him go the previous time. But right about now, he's got to know that he's not going nowhere today. And they still haven't, or he still hasn't said, you know what, I need an attorney. So, yeah, he's gonna hang out here a bit and wait on them to come back in. Not as smart as he said he was, I guess, Sunshine, because he did say that he knows how this goes. He knows that they're just trying to get him to confess to something he didn't do. So if you know so much, sir, why in the earth, he knows the cameras are up there looking at him. So why have you not requested an attorney? And he's got to know right now they're not letting him go today. He's got to know that. So I don't know, I guess he's having a hard time facing reality. As well as it's been so long. It's been a long time. 2017, he done came through the pandemic. Oh my gosh, this has been a long time. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And then after this next one, I'll go ahead and let it go and then get those phone calls teed up for another time.
The Silverado Trail Boss.
Part 2.
Jesus Christ.
And a little work.
The phone calls are a little
I know I wasn't in there. Could you
challenging to hear, but
you don't want to talk about that?
Okay,
what
about any of it?
Okay, what I failed to tell you too is the witnesses saw a gun in your pocket.
No, they didn't.
You're saying you didn't have a gun?
I'm saying I did not have a gun
when you were out there. And you told me earlier no one borrowed that gun?
I probably never would have let somebody borrow my gun.
Probably wouldn't have, but I'm asking you, did you?
No.
Okay. And again, I'll try to clarify this earlier. You and I both know I'm not a scientist, and you're not a scientist. But what the scientists are telling me is this extraction mark is like a fingerprint. It's unique to the gun. I told you that earlier. Do you understand that? It's not unique to that type of gun. It's unique to that specific gun. Just like your fingerprint. If I have a fingerprint, my fingerprint, your fingerprint, and I got a fingerprint at the scene, we match that fingerprint. It's significant to one person. No fingerprints are alike.
And what I'm telling you is there is no way that a bullet from my gun ended up at a murder scene.
And we've been working on this for over 5.5 years. We get a search warrant for your house, find your gun, because we were told when we found that round that it had 3 extraction marks on it. And without a doubt, they would be able to match that extraction mark to the gun. Not type of gun, the gun. We've taken multiple guns down there, and they have not matched to those extraction marks. Your gun does, 100% without a doubt. It's in this certificate of analysis. The scientists say that the marks on that gun match your gun.
And I'm telling you, it didn't happen. I didn't shoot anybody. I've never even pointed a gun at anybody.
I'm not saying you shot anybody. I'm saying a fully intact round from your gun was.
And I'm telling you, that's not possible.
It is.
It's not.
How's it not?
Because I wasn't there.
You were there. You said you were there.
I told you I was on the trail. I didn't tell you I was at a murder site.
This round is telling me you were there. You didn't.
I don't care what it's telling you.
You didn't lend your gun to anybody. I asked you that. Did you?
I'm done answering questions. Just arrest me. I'm done.
I'm trying to help you, Rick.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you something that's not true so you can feel better about this.
I already feel good about this.
Okay.
I feel good about what the experts are telling me.
Okay.
I feel good about the scientific evidence. I feel good about the witness statements. I feel good about everything. What I don't feel good about is you being a fall guy for anybody or everybody or anybody involved in this, if that's possible. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you did do this all by yourself. And that's exactly, I know you keep snickering at that, but that's exactly what's going to be portrayed of you. You're this evil monster that was just hunting for 2 teenage girls so you could just go down there and terrorize them and kill them, and that's not true. Is it?
I told you.
You and I both know that that's not true. You and I both know what happened. The evidence clearly is indicating. Now there's some missing pieces. I'm going to find those missing pieces.
Okay.
And it would be easier if you helped me find those missing pieces.
Oh my God. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I did something I didn't do.
I don't want you to. I told you that.
That's exactly what you want me to do. What else would you want me to do but tell you I did it? And I'm not going to, because I didn't. I've never been around those two girls in my life.
You were on the trail that day.
I was on the trail that day, and I told you that.
And they walked right by you, according to witnesses.
No, they didn't. I never even seen them. Like, I think I'm going to see somebody if they walk past me. Am I not?
Now, just 2 weeks ago, wait a minute, he told them several times that he walked past 3 girls. He said those were the only people that he did see, pretty much. He said because, it was like 3 girls, 2 of them looked a little younger than the one. So I couldn't really miss them because I walked right past them. And if there were other people here and there, but he couldn't really, point to anybody specifically. He just made sure that he said several times that he saw 3 girls and he thought they were together. He thought one was a little older and 2 were a little younger. And now he's saying he ain't seen nobody. Like, I don't know if he forgot or if he's just freaking out, but okay. Okay, sir.
I'm not saying somebody didn't see me that I didn't see. All I'm telling you is I never seen those 2 girls.
And why didn't you report this day one?
Report what?
That you were out there and you saw these 2 girls, you were in the area.
The very day that they came out and said that they wanted anybody who might have been out there to come in, that's what I did. I went down to the police station. I said, hey, I was out at the trail that day.
Did you want to?
Well, I obviously did, or I wouldn't have.
Did your wife encourage you to? Because she's talking to us. She's talking to us right now. And
I'm sure she is. And she's going to tell you there's no way in hell that I'd ever do this. So, we're all good.
It's not what was going on, Rick.
Then I don't know what is.
I just wish you'd be honest. That's all I do.
Oh my God. I have been honest with you, and you obviously don't believe me.
I don't, because if this evidence wasn't there, I would.
Okay.
You don't believe this evidence is...
I don't.
We're not here.
There's no way possible.
We didn't...
There is no way possible that a round from my gun ended up at a murder scene. It's not possible. So something's obviously wrong.
Something is wrong.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to find these on YouTube myself. Let me see. Yeah, that's him. Look at how different he looks after he's been in jail for a while. Okay.
The Silverado Trail Boss.
Up. Okay. Let's see. Let me skip over to YouTube real quick. His name is Richard Allen. Oh, let's see. Would have to be pretty recent. Okay, let me change the... Stop sharing this one. share a different one. Share. I think this is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay, hopefully this one won't bounce out. If y'all just came in, we're looking at this police interrogation of this guy right here, Richard Allen. He's been convicted now and sentenced to 130 years for the unaliving of two girls, 13 and 14. All they were doing was just hiking at a hiking trail park. And apparently it had some like secluded areas. And they, at this point he's been convicted. So he was on there. He was, I guess, like sort of following them. They apparently felt threatened before anything happened because one of the girls took a picture of him and also got a little bit of his voice on a video, but I guess you couldn't see him because it's just a voice recording of him saying, "Get down the hill." And so yeah, this is him being interrogated. Okay. Make sure it's showing over here. And it is. Okay, here we go.
I don't know what's wrong.
I didn't do it. And I'm not going to sit here all day trying to convince you that I didn't do it. You obviously think that I did.
I'm not going to sit here all day and convince you that I think that you did do it, Rick. I'm just laying down some of the evidence that we have.
Okay.
And we're going to get more.
I don't think so.
We're only giving you the opportunity to get out in front of this. This is your opportunity. Like I said earlier, the truth is easy.
I've got nothing to get out in front of. I'm not going to tell you I did something I didn't do.
Okay.
Okay.
And I don't want you to tell me something that you didn't do.
Then stop asking me to.
I'm not. I'm just asking you to tell the truth about this day. I asked you to go back and rehash it and you wouldn't. Why?
I told you, because I'm not going to, you guys are like trying to trick me into doing something.
I'm not trying to trick you.
I told you what happened. You've already got it. There's no need for me to tell you again.
Story.
Whatever. There aren't any. I don't know how I can make this any clearer. I'm not going to tell you that I had something to do with this.
Okay. And I don't know how I can make this any clearer. We have evidence indicating that you're clearly involved in this. And that's sad that you won't help.
Okay.
Because if that was your daughter out there, you would help some people to help.
You're damn right I would.
You're right. But you don't, so. Still waiting because it sounds like your wife's talking and she's being honest, so.
Okay.
She basically said, you can't believe you lied to her, so you're lying to us too, but. So is there a reason why you have this round in your little keepsake box? What kind of ammo did you have for your SIG?
I don't know.
Blazer?
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
At that time.
At that time, you had Winchester.
Okay.
The round we found was Winchester. The ammo you had in your gun and for your gun at the time was Blazer. But this was a Winchester. It says right there, Winchester. Same exact type of round.
We've been through this.
I know. I'm just giving you opportunity. And like I said, your wife's being honest.
Please stop giving me opportunity.
She says ever since 2017, she's saying that you didn't want to go. You wouldn't let her go on the search party. She wanted to help.
Oh.
And she's saying that.
I think I know my wife.
Well, I'm just telling you.
My
You want me to
wife
bring her
always
in?
say some stupid shit
You
like
want me
that.
to bring her in and tell you?
I
She's
don't
telling
care
the truth
what you
about
did.
what happened. You didn't tell her, but you've lied to her for years. Is how she feels right now.
Okay.
Because your depression has gotten considerably worse since this incident, which is
This has been going on for 7-8 years now.
But it's gotten worse since.
Well, it's gotten really bad.
I could see why. If I killed two girls, I would get.
Oh my God.
I would have depression too.
Well,
I would have mental issues too.
I'm sure you would.
Living with this.
I'm sure you would.
And that's why you are. Here's what I think, Rick.
Is he
I don't
laughing?
know. Only you know, but here's my theory.
Oh my goodness.
You're out there. Maybe somebody set this up. Maybe they didn't. Maybe you're out there. Maybe we know you're out there. That's not a theory. That's a fact. We know you had a gun. Girls saw the gun in there. We know you have anger issues. Your wife told us before that you have some anger issues, and you have depression, and you have, those types of issues. And maybe these girls said something to you. I don't know. Maybe you said go down the hill, which we know. The experts say you said go down the hill. You get down there, and they piss you off for whatever reason. You racked the gun. You didn't realize you racked that gun to scare them, and that round popped out. You didn't realize it. Because maybe, do you carry that gun with a round chambered, or do you not have it chambered?
When I carry it, I would have a round chamber,
So you
but I
rack
don't
it to
carry it
scare
very
it comes
often.
off. Well, you were carrying it that day because girls said. So if you have one chambered, and what I'm saying is if I have a round chamber, which I do, and I rack this gun right now around, a fully intact round will pop out. Correct?
I assume.
Well, that's what's happened. And you didn't realize it.
Okay.
And that's why that round's there on the ground, Rick. And this is your opportunity. And you say that you don't want to this and that.
Can you please stop giving me opportunities? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I did something I didn't do.
Okay, tell me what
I'm
you
not
did.
going to tell you I'm involved with something.
Tell me
that I
what you
wasn't
did do
involved
then that day. Look, help me.
I didn't
Help
know
me.
those two little girls.
Just asked for
What
an
did you
attorney and they stopped.
I went for a walk on
But I
the
don't
trail,
understand.
and I
If he
went
really
home.
wants to stop this, he could just say, I need an attorney.
And I told you the details
walk right
of
on
the
up
best I
to
can
him.
remember of what I did
I'm
that
back
day
to
and what the
handcuff
walk
him.
was.
And take him on
I'm
to the
not
county.
gonna.
So I don't know why he,
This is ridiculous. I'm not going to just keep
he's
repeating
got some
myself.
delusion.
Okay.
So
But I'm not going to keep bringing up more evidence either. I mean, I can
Okay.
only give you so much. What about Ron Logan? Do you know Ron Logan? You ever been on his property? You don't,
not that I know of.
You don't hunt. You said you fish?
We mushroom hunt. Yeah, I fish.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out why that round from your gun will be out there. I'm giving you the
I'm not.
I know you don't want me to give you opportunities, but I'm giving you the opportunity. But you never mushroom hunt on that side of that ditch? On 2000, where you weren't mushrooming, it was too early for mushrooms.
A little bit. It was just a seasonably warm day. So I went for a walk.
Okay. And nobody had your gun that you know of?
I'm not answering that. I've answered it 15 times.
I mean, obviously, you would tell me if somebody did, because then that would put them there and not you. Because right now, you are already out there by witnesses, and you and I both know that realistically, the evidence doesn't lie. So
It obviously does, if that's what it's
know,
saying.
I think I know you well enough, maybe I don't, that if you did know somebody borrowed your gun or had your gun, you would tell us.
Of course I would.
Okay. So it's realistic for me to believe that you were the only one to have your gun. Excuse me.
I've answered that 15 times.
Okay. And you said 15 times. That's true. So like I said, I'm trying to help you. If you don't want me to help you, I won't. I'll leave it.
I don't. That's fine.
What I'd like for you to do is tell me again what happened, because you didn't tell me. I watched the interview. I'm just trying to figure out why your round from your gun was 6 inches from those girls.
And I'm telling you, that's not possible.
Do you believe in science? Do you believe in...
I believe in science. I don't understand all of it.
I don't either, but if a scientist, a certified analyst, is telling you that this round came from this gun, specifically this gun, not this type of gun.
I get all that. I know what you're saying. And what I'm telling you is that bullet did not come from my gun if it was found at that murder scene or on the bridge or where, like, it didn't come from my gun is what I'm trying to tell you.
And I'm trying to
so
if it did, and they're telling me it did. So now I'm trying to figure out who had your gun, and you're saying nobody did 15, 16 times, and who had a round from your gun. Did anybody have your ammo? I don't know. You explain to me. You try to explain to me why.
I'm not going to try to explain. I told you that.
You can't. You can't explain why your round is by this dead girl's foot.
Because it's not.
But it is.
And he's telling him they've had
that analysis. You believe that our lab, that round's been in storage since the 14th of 2017.
I am telling you that any round involved in this whole thing did not come from my gun.
And I'm telling you, you're lying.
Okay.
Because I have evidence that it is.
You don't.
That's not evidence?
I'm telling you, never mind.
Please, tell me. I'm all ears. I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
I've got nothing to say.
Tell me.
I've got nothing to say. This is ridiculous.
So you're saying you didn't have the gun on the trail, so there's no way you racked it out there on the trail and somebody might have picked this round up?
What I'm telling you is I don't carry my gun. I carry my gun if we go fishing along the river, like night fishing. I carry my gun if we're going to go out and tromp through the woods mushroom hunting somewhere. That's about the only times I even carry my gun.
And you weren't mushroom hunting and you weren't fishing that day?
It was like February or something.
February 13th,
okay.
2017.
You realize mushrooms don't grow that early, right?
It's about May, right?
April, probably May. Around there.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Why would I be mushroom hunting?
I'm just saying, you weren't mushroom hunting and you weren't fishing. You're just walking on a trail. There's no way you would. I'm trying to figure out how that round got out there. If you're adamant that it is your round, I mean, you can't deny that. It's a round from your gun. Did you rack it on the trail and, you know?
I didn't have my gun that day.
Never racked it on the trail?
I didn't have my gun that day.
Ever? Any day? Do you ever remember racking your gun on that trail?
No, I don't.
Do you ever remember racking your gun while you're mushroom hunting out there in the years prior? Do you ever remember racking your gun when you were fishing? Did you ever go fishing there?
Not usually, no.
Okay. Where do you usually go fishing?
Down at the dam.
Oakdale?
No, in town, the little creek.
Oh,
Deer Creek.
Yeah, Deer Creek. And you said earlier you don't shoot it a lot, so you weren't out there target practicing.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just trying to figure out how I got there. When you said you carry it when you're mushroom hunting and fishing, and obviously I know when mushrooms grow, and I know probably, I mean, you could go be fishing in February. But why do you carry it? Why would you carry your gun? I'm not a fisherman or a hunter. But why would you carry your gun if you're out mushroom hunting?
Just because you're going to be out in the boondocks, you just never know who you're going to run into. Personal protection.
Okay. Or snakes or something like that, I guess.
I probably wouldn't shoot a snake.
You wouldn't?
No.
I would.
Well,
I hate snakes. Yeah, right.
I'm not saying I like them.
I guess I'm quicker than a snake. I can get away, maybe. When you do carry it, do you carry it like just on your hip, or do you carry it like one of those fancy holsters, or do you just put it in your pocket? Or
it's got a holster, side holster,
like a paddle holster, like this, just clips, or does it go through the belt?
It goes through the belt. Well,
mine just slides on.
It goes through the belt or clips. I don't know. I'd have to look. Right off, I don't remember.
And you said when you do carry, you have one in the chamber. That's how I carry mine.
Generally, yeah.
All right, let me see what the prosecutor has to say. I'm gonna call him real quick. Tell him what's going on, okay?
Okay.
What do you want me to tell him?
I want you to tell him whatever you want to tell him. I mean,
the truth? I'll tell him the truth, because that's what I do.
That's your version of the truth. Because it's obviously not.
I'm not making it up.
It's obviously not the truth.
You think I'm making up that we found this round? And
I don't know what you're doing. What I'm telling you is...
I'm not making this up. You and I both know. I'm not lying to you about anything. Everything I'm telling you is facts.
Okay.
I'm not trying to trick you into anything, Rick. I know you probably you said you watched Dateline and all these fancy shows. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just giving you some of the evidence that we have against you.
Not all these fancy
shows. I'm telling you that that's not possible.
Well, I can't. I'm not making this up. I showed you. I can't make it. This is a legal document. Item 16.
Any other evidence that
was identified as being cycled in the firearm of item 314. Item 314 is your gun. Item 16 is the round that we found out there on the ditch bank next to Liberty's foot. And that round compared to your gun.
And I'm telling you that didn't happen. That
I'm
it's
telling
not
you
possible.
did. I don't. So you think I've just typed this up? Do you think I'm just...
You're saying it happened. I'm not denying you're saying that. What I'm telling you is there's no way my bullet was found near a murder scene. It didn't happen.
And I showed you a picture.
And I can tell you...
Of a round, a Winchester 40 caliber round, right?
I've got nothing to work. Any other evidence that you have is obviously not going to point at me. I mean...
It is.
Okay.
The expert witnesses, the witnesses, all of it.
I don't believe that.
But
go ahead and call the prosecutor.
I'm just stumped here on what you think I made this up.
What do you want me to tell you?
I want you to tell you how do you think I made this up? Do you think I just typed this up? This is an official document.
I never said you made it up.
I
never said you made it up.
I can't lie to you and say, hey, I have an official document right here saying that this exam was done on this round that we found at the scene. I can't make any of that up. That's what you're telling me.
Well, no. Okay. I've not once said that you're lying. I've not once said that you're making that up.
You're just saying
What
that.
I'm telling you is that there's no way that a bullet from my gun ended up anywhere near a murder scene. It just didn't happen.
And I'm telling you,
that's all I can tell you. I can't tell you any more than that.
and all I can tell you is we found this round back in 2017.
Okay.
Collected it, have compared other guns to it. Other guns have not matched. We've had it for over 5.5 years. All right, we get information, you're on the trail, we want to talk to you and say, hey, what's going on? Who'd you see? What'd you do? You kind of cooperate, but then we say, hey, we're looking for this and that. Would you let us look? Nope, get a search warrant. We did. We got a search warrant.
Sure.
And we found this gun in your house that you bought in 2001 that the extraction marks, which is the analogy I got from the lab, is it's compared to a fingerprint. It's unlike anybody else's.
Okay.
Because these extraction marks, if they got my SIG 40, if I had a SIG 40, I have a 45 and a 9, but if I had a 40, it wouldn't match to my gun. And we've had multiple 40 caliber guns down there testing on other people that cooperated with us.
Okay.
And it doesn't match to their gun. So that's why I'm telling you why we're here.
Sure.
The one reason why we're here today is because your gun matches to this round that was found out there. I can't make that up. I'm not lying to you, Rick. I can't. That's unethical. I can't go.
It's obviously what you think. What I'm telling you is
it's not what I think. It's what the evidence is telling me. If I just thought, oh, I'm gonna make this story up of it. Somebody was out there and jacked around out of their gun. I can't make that up without the evidence that indicates it. Did they say anything to you about this round and about your gun the day they talked to you a couple weeks ago?
No.
No, because we didn't know.
Okay.
And then we collected all the evidence that we thought would match to the evidence that we have and run the test on it, and the test says ding.
And what I'm telling you is, and I guess I
can't deny this.
What I'm telling you
I know what you're telling me. You're telling me that your gun and that round was nowhere near, and I'm telling you that the evidence indicates it is. Right? We're on the same sheet?
That's what you're telling me, yes.
And that's what you're telling me?
No.
What are you telling me?
I'm telling you that...
There's no way in hell that my gun and rounds out there. Go ahead, say it. Sorry, I won't interrupt you.
I'm not saying anything.
Because you know it's a lie. I can't make this up. That's what I'm saying. You and I both know. I can't make this up. I can't. This is a certified official document. I can't just type this shit up and say, oh, look at me. I'm lying to you, Rick.
Okay.
I'm trying to trick you into confessing to something you didn't do. That's bullshit. You and I both know I can't do that.
Notice how the detective's tone is changing. He getting real like.
You tell me. Tell me.
I think you're involved in this double homicide. That's what I'm telling you because of the facts that we have.
I get that you think that. And I'm telling you I wasn't.
Okay. And if that's all it was, your word against my word, I would be like, okay, Rick, we'll see you later. But I got all this evidence that we can present to a jury of your peers that's going to say, fuck, Rick did this. He won't talk to us, though, so we don't know what he is. He's just some crazy monster that chases around teenage girls and wants to torture them and do whatever. That's what they're going to say. And now your wife and your daughter and your friends and your family have to live with that.
Exactly. They already have to. You've already done the damage.
I didn't do the damage.
You certainly did.
My
You
round
and
isn't-
everybody else.
A round from my gun isn't down there.
I can't explain to you something that I don't understand.
Okay. I wish you could. I wish somebody could.
I certainly wish I could.
Well, sit tight. I'm going to find out what your wife's been telling the other detective, and we'll go. Okay? I can bring her in here, too. Let her tell you. Maybe she can convince you to tell the truth.
trying to skip over all that time when
Me
he's
again.
just sitting there.
She wants to talk to you.
Okay.
She's calming down a little bit.
Okay.
We basically told her about the same evidence that we have that we told you about. And she's wants to talk to you. She's a little
She's
upset.
probably terrified.
She is. So she's drinking her water and calming down a little bit. Like I told her, you mentioned it earlier, you're worried about what people are going to think and all this. I get that. But I don't think you're a bad person. Neither does she.
What kind of good person kills two people?
People make bad decisions all the time. I don't know what happened. You know, for all I know, maybe they did something.
What makes two of us?
Well, you have some explaining to do, though. I don't think you can explain why, and other than you think I'm making it up. But good people make bad decisions all the time. Good people get backed into a corner all the time, and I don't know what they did. Maybe. I have a hard time believing they did something to. I don't think anybody could do something to deserve to be killed over, but you know, if somebody gets angry and their medication isn't right or whatever, I'm on medication. If my medication isn't right, maybe I don't make the best decisions. You know, people that are drinking and doing drugs, not saying you do, but when people drink and do drugs or the medication's off, maybe they make bad decisions. Good people do it all the time, but good people get out in front of it and tell the truth and try to help, put an end to it. It's over. And she believes, she doesn't think we're making any of this up. She thinks you're a good person. I think you're a good person. I just think something went wrong. I don't know why or what happened, but only one person can tell me, and that's you.
I can't tell you something that I don't know. I don't know how to make that any clearer.
You don't want to remember?
Oh my God, I didn't do anything. I didn't murder two little girls. I didn't help somebody murder two little girls. I wasn't involved in, what'd you say, scheming or whatever. I wasn't involved with these two girls in any way, shape, or form. Never even seen them before.
Well, I'm gonna let her talk to you a little bit.
Okay.
You guys can try to sort this out. And let me know whatever I can do to help. If you need more water or anything.
Okay.
Need another smoke break. I just feel like you're I don't know. I don't know what to think.
You. I said you don't know what to think.
It's tough.
It's not tough, it's bullshit.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
If you had a valid explanation of all this, but you don't. That's what
I can't explain something I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out.
right, babe. It's gonna be all right. They're trying to tell me that you actually believe that I did it. You know, I just can't believe that.
I'm trying to figure out why there's a bullet out there, dude.
I know. Do you think I'm not? And that's what I told them. I can't explain something I don't understand. I tried to explain to him that there's no way that a bullet...
He tried to bait her in. He tried to Sonya. He tried to Sonya that behind. And she was like, she just looked at him and she said, I'm trying to figure out where there's a bullet from your, you know what? So she's not trying to hear it. I don't know if she eventually changed her mind, because once she gets to the phone calls, her tone is a lot different. So I don't know if she actually changed what she was initially thinking, or if she's just like, I don't know, I really don't care what you're saying. I'm just gonna answer your calls for a bit. So I don't know where she's coming from later on. Right now, she's like, it's not looking good for you, bro. And I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you what you want to hear. So okay, here she goes.
From my gun was at a murder scene, because it didn't happen. I didn't even have my gun that day I went out. You know me. You know this isn't something I could do.
You know my character.
And I know that you know that. You don't have to tell me that, I know.
Look at him. You know my character. You know these cameras, you know my character.
They really think I did this. And they want me to believe that I know you know I didn't do this. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Because you depended, like you were there. You were there.
I'm not gonna say something
Part
that's
of your
not
pow
true.
pow was there
I can't
in
explain
between
something
the
that I
girls,
don't
not just
understand.
with the part.
The only way for me to explain it is that I don't know. Because I'm saying it's not possible. There's no way that a bullet from my gun ended up at a murder scene. I didn't murder anybody. I didn't help somebody murder anybody. I'm not gonna sit here and try to convince you. I know you know me. I know you know that I didn't do this. Had anything to do with it. Talk about scheming or something.
Just look at the person. That's what
I don't. Don't know how did a bullet from your gun get out there?
I don't know.
Because they said it came from our gun.
I know that's what they believe me. That's what they're telling me.
But how did it get there?
I don't know.
Yeah, how did it get there, Richard?
They said there was one in your box above your dresser to match it.
They showed me that picture too. I can't explain it. And I don't.
I can't either. They keep asking me and I don't know how to answer that.
You
There's no
answer
way
it.
for me to know.
I understand. Me either. And that's what I'm trying to tell them. You want to keep asking me and I just keep telling you I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain something that isn't possible. But I know, this is what I do know. I know that no bullet from my gun was connected with a murder in any way, shape, or form. And there's no way a bullet from my gun would have been near Abby and Libby's murder or...
What I can tell y'all about me is that I need help because I feel angry. I feel angry. I feel myself being this lady, and I feel myself, I don't know, probably getting arrested for starting to beat him up. Like, I just, I need help. I could just see myself, just starting to rip into him and knowing that, yeah, I'll probably get in trouble for it. But at the same time, I know they're going to come in here before you can start, like, doing anything back to me. That's probably the last thing you want to do is do something back to me. And he would be in trouble right about now with me. Yeah, it's no, he would not be in good shape. Yeah, he knows, and he's trying to figure out something to say. Uh, but I am angry. Like, I guess she's cried. She's had a kind of a lot of time to think about this because she's the one that told him in the first place, like, you need to go talk to them. You were there that day. Maybe you could tell them something that would help or whatever. So she's had a lot of time to wonder and think. And, then they've asked him to come back down there. So maybe she's more calm. But oh my goodness, I just, mm-mm, mm-mm. They would not have done good to leave me in there. And I don't, it's not like I think that I could really like do anything, but I know I could do a little bit of something before, they're looking. So they would be in there in a minute. And yeah, this wouldn't be good. Let me continue to play the video and drink me some water. Because he's making me mad, and that shouldn't even be.
Or anything else, because I never even seen those girls. Period. And I didn't even have my gun that day. So,
bro, you done told everybody you saw the girls.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to make that any clearer. I don't know how to make that any
Wow.
I don't know how to make somebody understand. I get what he's saying. I don't have a way to explain it.
And they're like, there's a witness that said it was you out there.
Dear, I don't know
And
what.
I'm like, how did they know it was you? And so they said they showed her a picture. But I'm like, of course you were out there.
If they seen me out there, they seen me out there, dear. And I told
Were
them.
you on the bridge?
I told them I was on the bridge. I went out to the first trestle.
Oh, okay.
That first
I
thing
don't
that.
remember you telling me that. You told me, so I told you weren't on it. But I didn't.
It doesn't, hon, you're not in any trouble. You didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Tell him, right?
Huh?
I didn't know you were on it. I'm sorry.
Well, don't worry about it.
You told
Hon?
me you weren't.
Huh?
You told me you weren't, so I just was.
No, I told you that I walked.
Okay.
I love you, baby. I don't know what they're trying to do, but I know that that's not what I told you. And I love you. And it's just, they're not going to get away with this. This is exactly what I would never want for you, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to say I did something I didn't do. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I know you know me, and I know you know that I would never do this.
I'm proud of her. Look at her. Not a nod. Okay, she nodded.
All I can say, hon, is you know me. I know, and I know
Don't
you know me,
believe that,
and I know you. And what they're doing to you right now, I'm not okay with this at all. And they know it, but they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm just sorry you're having to hurt. I'm sorry I'm having to go through it. I mean, it's like I told them, the damage is already done. You've already talked to people I work with, you talk to neighbors of mine, and I care about what people think. You know I care about what people think.
I know.
Hell, I have enough trouble not trying to believe that people think. Half the time I just think they think what I'm thinking. You know what I'm talking about. I'm always worried about what Jory thinks. Or
He has a mystery. He has a history of mental health issues.
And they're trying to, talk about my anxiety and depression and shit. And, I tried to explain to them it's been going on for 7, 8 years. Hell, I've had it my whole life. They want me to tell them that I did it. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to admit to something that I didn't do. How stupid is that? I don't care what they do to me. I'm not going to admit to doing something I had nothing to do with. And I'm not going to try to explain something I can't explain, because I don't know. You tell me, because I don't know. I just know that I never even carried the gun unless we were going mushroom hunting, tromping through the woods, or fishing along the river. That's the only time I even carried it for the most part. I never even would have, hell, I haven't carried my gun and I don't even remember a time when I used to carry it. I mean, other than going fishing, like if we were going night fishing.
But how could the bullet get out there, honey? I can't understand that.
I told you, I can't either, hon. There's 2 explanations. One is, the bullet didn't come from my gun.
It did though, honey. The cut ballistics on it.
I get that. Then it didn't come from a murder scene. I don't know what else to say. I get that. I get what they're saying. What I'm telling you is, if that bullet came from my gun, there's no way it was found with their investigation for the murders. There's no way. I can't explain something I have no answer for. They want you to think that I done it. That's what this is all about. They want you to come in here and make me believe that you think I did it, and I know you don't. You know me too well.
Yes, she does. She does think you did it.
You know I'd never do something like this, or even be involved with something like this. So they're probably going to come and take you away from me and go at me again. So just tell them you want an attorney.
Yeah, why didn't
and they'll
you
have
tell
to let you leave. Don't worry about me. I'm trying to, I don't know what they're doing.
Isn't that interesting that he full well knows he can just ask for an attorney? They'll go ahead and put him in jail, have the attorney come see him. But he will not.
Yes, you do. There is no way that evidence is going to show that I did this.
Fucking here, Red.
You got one piece of evidence that I can't explain.
Multiple. I'm not showing you my whole fucking hand here.
I don't care. I'm telling you I'm done talking.
And now you're going to drag your fucking wife and your daughter through this because you're too fucking bullheaded to get out in front of this and admit that you made a mistake. And whatever the fuck happened out there, we'll never fucking know. Because you're too big of a fucking four-headed... Go ahead.
So tell you I did something.
Tell me
that I didn't do.
The truth, Rick. I don't want to know.
I've told you the truth and you don't want to hear it.
The evidence tells me otherwise. The evidence clearly indicates you're involved in this.
No, it doesn't.
It fucking does.
It doesn't. I'm telling you that there is no way that a bullet from my gun was used in these murders.
And I'm telling you that we had this fucking round on February the 14th, 2017. It's been secured in a fucking laboratory. And we've tested other guns
I understand what you're saying.
I want her to hear this,
I understand what you're saying. What I'm telling you is I can't explain something I don't understand.
Oh, the scientists explained it for you. The lab analysts have explained that for you. They're saying that this round, without a doubt, came from your gun.
Then you've taken it from somewhere else then. Because it's not possible.
I did not take it from somewhere else. It was logged in. It was taken as photograph. You think we fucking went and stole your fucking round and threw it down by a fucking dead girl's foot? This ain't fucking TV. This is realistic.
I understand.
We collected that fucking item on February the 14th. We didn't take it from anywhere else but that fucking scene. And we didn't take your gun from anywhere else. We took it from your fucking house.
I'm telling you I can't explain something.
And I'm telling you the fucking analysts explain it. You can't get past this.
Can you please let my wife out?
Absolutely. Come on, Kathy.
I love you, baby. Can I kiss her?
Yeah, kiss her. Do the right thing, Kathy. Tell him to do the right thing.
She knows I will.
Yeah, do the right thing. You're going to put your family through this for no reason. What?
You're gonna pay for what you're doing to my wife.
What am I doing?
You want to fuck with me, but you leave my wife out of this. Fuck, leave me out of it.
No, you're involved in this. You're fucking rounds there, Rick.
No, it's not.
I can see you're getting pissed off. I understand.
I am pissed off. Did you not see my wife?
Did you not see these fucking two girls dead? No, that's what happened. You got fucking pissed off, Adam. You fucking dragged them down a fucking hill, and you fucking killed. Don't fucking tell me you didn't.
I didn't kill anybody.
Bullshit. Fucking upset for a reason, not because
you guys are trying to kill somebody.
You're trying to tell me that I'm not making this fucking round shit up, Rick. It is what it is.
I'm done talking. Arrest me.
Happy to. Be fucking happy to, because I tried to fucking help you and you wouldn't fucking do it.
Oh, you're helping me.
Guilty, and I know it, and I'm gonna fucking prove it.
Okay.
And I'm not paying for any of this shit. You're paying. This is on you. This ain't on me. It's fucking on you, Rick. You had your fucking opportunity. Fuck. Fucking bully.
Well, and that it's going back to part one. All right, y'all. So that's how that went down. There's some jail calls as well, so I'll play those later, or I don't know. If I can get back later today, I will. Might have, since today's Friday, I might just do it in the morning. or late tonight. I don't know. But yeah, so if you didn't know, this guy is Richard Allen. He's already at this point been convicted. He was convicted December 2024. They went ahead and sentenced him to 130 years, and they found that he was guilty. And they, excuse me, they did use, sorry, they did use a lot of his jail calls, and he did confess to several people on calls, some counselor he had, some other people in jail with him. He confessed to several people. And so I think his attorney tried to argue, that something about, people being under some type of duress, and sometimes they say that they did it and they really didn't do it and all this. But, they said it's also like psychology behind when you confess and you tell people that you did this, it's like they can't unhear it. And so I want to say they said he confessed like 70, no, not 70, 60 times between calls and different people. So yeah, that's that. Sunshine said, what a dummy. Yeah, I mean, one of the ones that I heard, he was telling his wife, I did it. And she said, no, you didn't. That's why I'm like, where did she change her mind? Or did she just get like indifferent? Like, I really don't care what you're saying. I'm your wife. I'm going to accept some calls for a while. I don't know what she was thinking, but she did end up saying, no, you didn't. Stop saying that. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm telling you, I did it. Well, that's, and one of them, he said, well, that's what everybody thinks anyway. So I did it. And then at one of them, he said, I did it. No, I really did do it. Do you believe? I mean, like, believe me, I really did do it. So anyway, we'll listen to those a little bit later. Because I let this roll on. I let this roll on for 3 hours. So I'll probably clip it up and put it out in smaller sections. So, because I know nobody's going to sit through this whole thing if you weren't already here. So anyway, thank y'all for joining me. Y'all have a happy Friday. Be careful out here. I was saying earlier, if you have kids or grandkids or young people in your life, and I think I'll just go over this again with all of the young people in my life. And you don't even have to be young, but whoever you are, like, as on one of the old Oprah Winfrey shows said, let me do this. I said this earlier, but she had a specialist on her show. He was an ex-criminal, and he had changed his life, so he said, and he was going around telling people how to, deal with people that are trying to get you and take you away. So he said, never get taken to the second location. What if somebody tries to mess with you? Just resign yourself to, it's got to go down right here. Don't be going nowhere with nobody. It doesn't matter what they have pointed at you or anything. He was like, fight, scream, bite. And for me, it's yell, fire. He didn't say that, but I learned that somewhere else. They say that if you yell for help, they said if you scream help, people don't come. People get nervous for themselves and they don't come for help. If you yell fire, people wonder what's on fire, who's on fire, is it my property that's on fire? And they'll come out of curiosity. So, fight like hell at the first, wherever something is going down at. Don't let anybody take you to a more secluded location. These young girls, he told them to go down the hill, and he walk them off, probably with the pow pow. He didn't pow pow them. He ended up cutting, but probably because the pow pow was too loud, or whatever. Um, but he had it. He's saying he didn't have it, but he had it because he lost one of his rounds out there, and that's how they eventually, that helped to really tie him back to the location. um but yeah, all those things, and like I said, my cherry on top is yelling fire. So even if you think nobody's around, somebody might come looking to try to figure out what's on fire. So yeah, God bless those kids and their families, and may they rest in peace. Is so terrible. I mean, that's beyond terrible. They were just two, young girls, probably trying to just be healthy. And one of their parents had dropped them off at this hiking trail place. Um, and it's really sad. When I was young, I used to go to a park. It wasn't a hiking trail, but I used to go to a park that had really like woodsy, secluded spots in the park. Walk all around the park, several times. And sometimes you get a little eerie, you kind of speed up or kind of jog through the wooded areas. But, of course, I'm sitting here. But yeah, it's really unthinkable to think that, at 13 and 14, you really, you'd like to believe that, okay, y'all got a little bigger, I'll drop y'all off at the trail or whatever. I think one of their dads dropped them off at the trail and went back to get them and had to report them missing. And then they found them the next day on Valentine's Day. So, oh, did you? You learned to scream fire from high school. Okay, yeah, I don't remember where I picked that up, but I did. And then I've told my kids since they were younger, and now they're, everybody is older now. But I mean, it probably doesn't matter if somebody is, just trying to get somebody and you happen to be where they are. Like, you still need to know all this. The cops say people pay attention more to fire than help. Yep. I also heard and learned the same thing. So, and that the girls, they probably, like you just, I could just imagine you just kind of frozen in fear. They did what they could think of to do, though. Like the picture, that's really gone a long way to help to catch him. And then also a little audio. I think they might have turned on video, but they didn't see him, but they heard his voice. So yeah, that's what I say. God bless both of their families, because I know that they're just devastated. And I hadn't heard about this case. I hadn't heard about it until I just saw all of the stuff come out. But this has been going on since 2022. And so yeah. But anyway, y'all, we'll get into listening to the calls. I really don't know how many there are, but I want to play the calls. I only played like a couple of clips, so I haven't really heard them. I don't know what he's really just talking about in all of them. But we'll see. And I want to thank y'all for coming in and checking this out with me today. And yeah, just terrible. What state is this? Delphi? Let me see. It is Indianapolis, Indiana. So it's Delphi, Indiana. I guess it's close to Indianapolis. Yep. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to carry on. Thank you, Sunshine. I appreciate you coming in and chatting with me while this has been going on to keep it lively. So anyway, I'll see y'all a little bit later, or like I said, either later tonight or tomorrow to listen to some of the calls. Okay. Bye. And have a good Friday.